Welcome to McKellar Park. It's the PS4 NPL Women's Grand Final between Belconnen United and Canberra FC. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator this afternoon. Joining me in the commentary box is Belconnen United ace goal-getter Ashley Palumbi. Ashley, not the place you want to be on Grand Final day, but here you are, and thanks for joining us.
Here I am, absolute pleasure.
What are you looking forward to most about this match today?
I'm looking forward to seeing a really, really good contest. They're two of the most informed teams all season, so it'll be really nice to see who can step it up today and run away with the win.
Don't want to bring it up, but last week, of course, Canberra FC knocked you out of the competition, a goal from Grace Gill being the difference, and that was a hard-fought match, and you get the feeling that Canberra FC are going to have to put in another real big shift like that to get a result today. Yeah,
absolutely. It was really disappointing to walk away from that one with a loss, especially because to begin the match we were standing there going, yep, I think that we've got this one. The first 20 minutes we controlled possession. I thought that we were playing really well, and just against a runner play they get a goal, and then we're good enough to hold out the lead, and that's what I think they'll have to do today as well against a classy Belconnen side.
Well, they've gone with Chantel Jones in goal today as well, which she's scored plenty of goals for them at the other end of the field this season, 19 of them in fact. But today they put her in goal. Are you surprised by that, or do you think it's a sensible move?
I'm not surprised by it. I definitely think it is a smart move. Whether or not it'll pay off is another story. She's so potent in both positions, both being out on the field and in the goal. So it's a real 50-50 as to whether they'll be able to hold out the Belconnen attack. But I think that putting her in goals is a good way to try to do that.
Belconnen United played 21, won 19, drawn 1, lost 1. Goals for 106, goals against 5, a goal difference of plus 101, 58 points. They only lost this season in round 2 against Tuggeranong United, and the only other points they dropped was against you in round 15 against Gungahlin. 16 clean sheets, 12 in succession. That's a run of 1,080 minutes, and only 3 conceded in the regular season in a 90-match run. That's 1,710 minutes of football. How are Canberra FC going to beat this team?
That's quite a few stats there, and it just shows what a champion side they are. I think that the way they're going to have to beat them is against the runner play. I think that it's going to have to be a good counter-attack coming from Canberra FC to turn Belconnen around and get them on the counter, because Belconnen like to push forward, push players down through the wings, down through the midfield, and I think that that's a way that CFC will be able to turn them around and get them.
We'll run through the sides in just a minute when the teams come out, but the front three of Belconnen United, 69 goals between them this season. Madeline Whittle with 32, Chloe Callaghan with 23, Jasmine Maguire with 14, pace and an eye for goal amongst those three.
Absolutely. You know, you've got the likes of Maddie Whittle, who's just kept stepping up throughout the seasons, and she's proved what a clinical finisher she is. She has had an outstanding season and deserves to be where she is. It's plenty of pace, some clinical finishing, and just a high work rate, and that's why they're the top goal scorers there.
To put it into perspective for Canberra FC today, Belconnen United are going for their 19th major trophy out of the last 21 that are available in Canberra, and they've won 12 major trophies in a row. It's a huge ask, isn't it? And even though Canberra FC are a very, very good side, if they got up today, it would be a huge upset.
It would be a huge upset, absolutely. Belconnen have been the best side for the last 5, 6, 7 years, you know. So it would be a huge upset, but I think that the Tides certainly have to turn at one point, and maybe today could be the day. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, Canberra FC haven't scored a goal against Belconnen this season in the 3 games they played. In round 4, a brace from Chloe Callaghan and 1 from Whittle gave Belconnen a 3-0 win at Deakin Stadium. Here in June, in round 11, goals from Cara Kutaya, Whittle and Callaghan made it 3-0 on that occasion. And in round 18 at Deakin Stadium, it was only 1-0, Whittle's goal on the stroke of half-time, as we see the teams coming out. So you get the feeling they've got to score and score first.
Yep, they've got to score and score first, but I think that the proof in the pudding in those stats there is that the last game was when Chantel was in goal, and that was when they only beat them 1-0. So like I said, against the runner play, if CFC can get a goal, I think that Chantel will be hard to beat there.
Amazing amount of talent on the field today. We'll run through the two teams, as I said, in just a second. Just to let you know that our match officials today, Angela Gray in her first grand final, Carlina Mullet and Lashan Pereira on the sideline, and Mitch Whedon, the fourth official. It's a decent refereeing lineup and a big day for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to see the young refs stepping up through the ranks, and this year they've certainly done that. So we've seen lots of fresh faces, and they've done really well so far.
And in the refereeing community, they have high hopes for Angela Gray as well, that she could go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. We've seen the leaps and bounds that Nia and Delphina have made, and hopefully she can follow in their footsteps.
Okay, the two teams, Belconnen United in goal, Clara Menenica. They're back for Bronte Pike, Karen Clark, Catherine Brown and Ellie Raymond. Michaela Day in a holding role, just ahead of her, Cara Kutaya and Nicole Jaloka. Front three that we mentioned, Chloe Callaghan, Jasmine Maguire, Madeline Whittle. Who's the most important player on that team at the moment for you today?
I think Maddie Whittle is the clincher for them. I think that if she's on, CFC will have a hard time keeping her under wraps. So, yeah, I think she's the key player there.
CFC also with a 4-3-3, but a little bit different in their setup. Chantal Jones, as we mentioned, in goal. They're back for Alice Churchill, Amy McLaughlin, Ivana Galich and Bridget Wright. Midfield, Grace Gill, Krista Hagan and Hayley McLaughlin. Up front, Shaquille Chong, Marcia Wallace and Diana Genovese. Plenty of quality in that team as well, looking at the names that have been around for a while, like Grace Gill. Alice Churchill as well, a very underrated player.
Absolutely. A few of us girls were actually speaking about it the other day. Alice Churchill just gets in the way. She is always in the way, and she does a really, really good job. She's a great leader for her side, and I think that it'll be a really good matchup with her. And whether she's on Maddie Whittle or on Chloe, Alice will really be put to the test, and her skill will be shown.
And she's decent from a set piece as well, and that could come into question.
Absolutely. So strong. She runs through people. She's got no fear or self-preservation, and that's, to her benefit. She puts herself in really good positions, and I think she'll be really strong for them.
And that's Churchill skippering the side today for Canberra FC. Belconnen United, we saw here in the Federation Cup final. They beat the Canberra United Academy. The two benches as well, worth looking at those. Jess Giovinazzo, Katie Woodman, Jessie Williams, Jordan Buchanan and Caitlin Munoz on the bench for Belconnen United. For Canberra FC, Erin Boxell, Kate Thornton, Gabby Risteska, Diane Wilson and Millie Mallinson. Looking at the Belconnen bench, will it be any different problem for them that three of those players played in the last game, or would you rather have players that are fresh?
I think that it's a testament to their depth, is having all those players there on the bench. I think that that's one of Belconnen's strong points, and has been for so long, is just their ability to rotate players. And Ant's done that today, and I think that that'll play into his hands nicely.
Well, Canberra FC, of course, in the red shirts, red shorts and white socks. Belconnen in their traditional sky blue shirts, dark blue shorts and white socks. Decent crowd come into the venue as well here today, with beautiful conditions for a grand final as well. The sun is out at the moment. It'll go down before the game finishes, of course. Not a breath of wind either, so perfect conditions. Absolutely
amazing day for football, so it'll be a really, really good one, especially after the weekend that was. I'm looking forward to this one.
So Marcia Wallace will get us underway for Canberra FC. Her second season with the club, an American turned Aussie. She went to Stanford University. Had a stint with the US youth national team as well, so a bit of pedigree there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just come back from having a baby actually this season, and it's pretty amazing the fact that she's in there and playing so well, so strong. She's a really, really class act.
Well, she gets us underway, and Gill immediately sends that one forward looking for Chong, and was taken out quite well in the air by Pike. Be important for both sides to settle early, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Belconnen would certainly have the ascendancy, having the experience in these situations. But I've got no doubt that once both teams settles, we'll have a really good game on our hands.
Gill wins the header. Let's come off of Wallace, and it'll be a first time for Belconnen to get their bit of possession. Looking forward to seeing how this front three interact. They move around a fair bit, and they cause problems.
Yeah. Ivana Galich at the back there will have a good match cut out for her, but she's come up into Premier League and done really well.
Wallace looks for Genovese. Pike's back there with her. Second chance for the winger. Into the middle of the field where Michaela Day gets her first touch. And it's sent up the field by Clark. Maguire's layoff and an early ball looking for the run. But it's intercepted. Back to Clark again, who pings it down the field.
And that's often Belconnen's ploy, is just to get the defence turned around and have their wingers moving up and down there like that.
Jones' distribution is another one of her major assets, and Genovese's after this, and Menenica has to come and clear. Early signs that they're looking to get down that left-hand channel for Diana Genovese.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a less experienced right back there, so they'll try to exploit that, but she'll do well and hold it up.
That ball came off of the head of McLaughlin in the middle of the park. Two sisters in the team today, Hayley McLaughlin playing in the middle and Amy at the back.
Yeah.
It's Hagan, finds Gill. Was chipped forward by Galich. Yeah. It's broken for Genovese again, and Pike's had her work cut out already in the first few minutes of the match.
Absolutely.
Could be a busy afternoon for Bronte Pike.
It looks like they're really trying to exploit that left-hand side, like you said, so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Right over on the far side here at McKellar Park. Headed away by Clark for a throw-in. Canberra FC, as we said, big underdogs coming to this one, but previous form usually goes out the window on grand final day, doesn't it, Ash?
Absolutely does. Nerves get in the way, and there's a whole mirage of other factors that'll play into it. So, yeah, no safe bet.
Early ball into the area. Brown gets a header down. The shot might come in here, and it is. Hagen got hold of it, but got under it as well, and it's harmlessly away. But promising early signs for Canberra FC and their head coach, Mark Grostecki.
Yeah, they're absolutely pushing the ball forward there, so it's good to see that they're actually trying to play an attacking game.
For Belconnen United, how difficult is it to motivate these players that win games all the time and win trophies all the time? Do you think they might take these occasions for granted and become a bit blasé?
I think that what they've got that plays into their hands is Ant as a coach. She's an amazing coach and has won Coach of the Year plenty of times now. And I think that he would have no trouble getting the best out of his players, and that's why he is one of the best coaches in the league and has his team stepping up into this position so many times.
We'll see how that plays out. Wright takes a throw. It's one in the air by Callaghan. Maguire gets a little shove in the back there. No free kick, says Angela Gray, and a throw into Canberra FC, right in front of their bench, in front of the commentary position, looking to throw that down the line towards Chong. Back again in midfield. It's Wallace. Little touches early on, but Brown could tidy up. Go back to Clark, who's under pressure. Does well. Asked a lot of Michaela Day there, and she's been robbed in the middle of the park. Nervy start from Belconnen.
Yeah, very much so. It's really good to see such a good competition to begin with. So Canberra FC is certainly taking it to them.
There's Wallace. Callaghan shows her strength, though, to come back and win it, and helped on the way by Jaloka. And here's Raymond. And Gallic just come across. Kicked it straight into Callaghan there. Got fortunate to get away with that one, but here they come forward again with Chong. A chance for Hagen to send it towards Genovese. The pressure from Pike was enough, and it's back to Manenica. Early stages, of course, 5 minutes in, but I think Canberra will be pleased with the way they've started the match.
Absolutely, but this is what Belconnen do so well, is playing out from the back and just keeping everyone nice and calm. I think that'll be a key point if they're to be successful today, is just their backline staying nice and structured.
All the way through to Jones. Do you think she'd be disappointed she's not on the field, or do you think she's professional enough to just get on with it and be a goalkeeper like she used to be in the W League, of course?
I think she would be disappointed, but I think that she absolutely would still be happy to do her role for the team. I think that she probably knows that that's the best position for her to be in for the team in this scenario. So, yeah, I think that she'd be disappointed because of how much she was enjoying this year, but she'll do her job well.
Here's Brown. Been a mainstay of this Belconnen side for a number of years and has a sweet left foot and sweeps that one out, looking towards Pike, who'd made the forward run. And here come Belconnen, their first real attack. I think that's Whittle who gets the shot in, and it didn't have enough pace to trouble Jones.
No. I think she was probably more so going for a cross there, but just didn't quite come off. But you'll see her down that line plenty of times today.
We mentioned the 69 goals this front three have scored between them, but they're going to have to work for them today with Chantal Jones in goals.
Absolutely. She's a class act in there, and we found it really hard to get past her last week once they put her there. So she plays a nice sweeping role, which makes it really, really difficult to try to penetrate that line, and it will hopefully nullify Belconnen's attack for CFC's sake today.
Jones looking for a runner. Again, looks for Genovese in that channel, and again, Pike is there. Obviously something they've worked on this week. Maybe they're targeting Bronte Pike's lack of experience, I guess.
Yeah.
She's done well so far.
She has. She's shut them out so far, so hopefully that can just continue for the game for her.
Maguire was beaten to it. Here's Kutaya, opened the scoring in the Federation Cup final. Back to Clark as the floodlights come on. Prematurely, we don't need them just yet.
Not just yet. It's a beautiful day.
It's up towards Callaghan. Looking to turn and run it right. Now Whittle. And it's a good piece of defending from Churchill.
That's going to be a good matchup today. Churchill and Whittle, it's going to be outstanding. See who can get the better of him.
Here's Maguire. Sweeping that across the face of the box, and it's hooked clear by Hagen. Finds Brown. Under pressure from Wallace, and she did enough to put her off, and that pass will go harmlessly out of play.
CFC seem to be doing pretty well at the moment and just shutting down Belconnen's attack and their distribution out.
Well, Gallich, you feel that they'll be coming under a lot more pressure than this a little bit later in the game, but so far they've settled very well.
Yep.
No score live on Bar TV Sports. PS4 MPL Women's Premier League Grand Final here from McKellar Park. Belconnen United 0, Canberra FC 0. That's Churchill. Robbed in the run forwards. Is a good one. Gill just tries to help it on its way. It's a bit scrappy in the middle of the park.
It is, definitely.
McLaughlin goes back to Churchill.
It'll be important to see which team will settle first and actually just try to take control of the game. And both teams have midfields that have potential to do that.
It's Pike. Phil to Maguire, who's dropped deep to collect the ball. Looks to play in as one of the strike partners. And Galich came into Robber, but it's fallen for Jaloka. She's off on a run here, Nicole Jaloka, into the penalty area. Danger signs here. Churchill shadows her well, though, and defends superbly, but concedes the first set piece of the afternoon.
Yeah. This is where CFC definitely has to be careful. Belconnen are renowned for being really strong in set pieces. I know that it was something that we always tried to make sure we didn't concede. So hopefully they can stay strong here, and Belconnen can put on a good show.
I think Kataya's trotted across to take this corner. Bit of height in there. Clark's gone forward, as has Brown. Can she deliver? Up towards Brown. They've all missed it. It's fallen on the edge area to Callaghan. That takes a deflection and loops up in the air, and Chantal Jones jumps to clutch the ball. For a moment there, it looked a problem for FC, and she sends this one forward, looking for Genovese on the break, and Raymond has to be careful. She's not dealt with it too well. Helped out by Pike, and Raymond again is involved. It's well played by Shaquille Chong. Brown finds Callaghan. Now Day hooks it forward. Galich wins it though. Belconnen can't get into their rhythm at the moment. It's Hagen. You played both these teams before this season, Ash, and how important is it to keep Belconnen scoreless as long as possible?
It's really important. I think that was probably where we, Gungahlin, fell down a few times this year, was conceding early goals to Belconnen by just not being switched on in those first 10 to 15 minutes. And they just get a really good run on, their vibe picks up, and they're hard to beat from that position. So it's important that CFC doesn't concede.
Pike swings it into the penalty area. It's headed up in the air. Defensively, they've been pretty solid so far, the Reds.
Yeah, very much so. Plenty more work to do.
That was Amy McLaughlin who got there, and that's a foul throw. Don't see many of them much these days.
Not much at all. Look out for Karen Clark, the centre back for Belconnen's big throw in. It's used sometimes as a corner.
Looking for the run of Hagen, who collects it. That's good hustle by Belconnen to win it back. It's going to break for Galich though. Ball into space, but it's easily picked up by Michaela Day. Here's Brown. Now Callaghan, who's such a menace in the Federation Cup final we saw here, and that one's out of play. I spoke to Michael Aldred. He was our co-commentator for the last game, and his Tuggeranong United side beat this Belconnen team by scoring a goal and then defending stoutly for the most of the game. And that seems to be the way to do it. It
does, but the big thing with that is Belconnen is a hard team to defend against. They seem to niggle and scrap very, very well, and that's often how many of their goals come about.
So Whittle.
It's not the only way.
Of course, and once they do score and you push out looking for their goals, they have that real pace on the break that they can catch you.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as you start to move forward, they're turning you around and using their pacey wingers to get in behind you. So you got to hedge your bets.
Clark thrashes that one forward, and that's going to be harmless enough. Wright needs to cover it though, and well, she's made a bit of a hash of this one, and at the second attempt hooks it away. A little bit of miscommunication between her and Galich there for a moment.
Seems so. Grace Gill's done well.
Strongly in midfield, not once but twice. Looks to play it forward, but Raymond got half a piece of that, and Day tidies up to Brown, who rather uncharacteristically hooks that one out of play. Bridget Wright with a throw. Hagen gives the ball straight back to Belconnen. Grand final days are often as much mental about physical as well, and it's difficult sometimes for these players to, switch off during the week and try and treat it as any other game.
Very much so. I think in both sides there are actually a handful of players that have never been in this position before. Even Belconnen having their wealth of experience, there are some players that haven't been in this situation. So getting that mental preparation right is a huge part.
Callaghan looks for the runner Whittle. But it's well defended. McLaughlin finds right, and the ball eventually makes its way up towards Genovese, but Brown is there. Now Day. Looking for an option. Has to go back to Clark again, who's played several of these long balls forward so far today. That one's not paid off for her, but that's obviously a tactic they've looked at.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if it pays off, especially with how high Chantel plays as a goalkeeper. So
Day gets in and challenges McLaughlin, Genovese and concedes the free kick. And this is a set-piece opportunity. Chance for Canberra FC to send a few bodies forward.
Yeah. There's a bit of height up there for CFC. So hopefully they'll be able to use that now.
Well, Gill's gone to the far post and Galich is going to take the free kick. And that'll probably be the target, you'd think. Making the run in towards goal. It's up towards Gill. The bounce finds its way through to the midfielder. Can she find a delivery?
Try to whip that in.
Looking to get it onto the left foot, perhaps. That's good defending. And in the end, Belconnen get it away. It's held up there. Was that Jalocka back there?
Yeah, it was Maddie Whittle and Jalocka.
Jalocka held her up and Whittle completed the clearance.
Yeah.
Challenge again by Jalocka on Gill.
Be a good tussle. Good tussle between those two today.
Clark again with the long ball, looking for the pace of Maguire, but she's overhit a few of them so far.
Yeah.
Needs to take a little bit of the weight off the through ball. Kind of pass you used to like, Ash.
Yeah. Don't make me run too much.
We used to run when we were younger.
Yeah, exactly. Too old now.
It's a chance for Callaghan, but that's well intercepted by Wright and cleared upfield by McLaughlin. Clark again just sends it back into the danger area. It's well read by Galich.
Yeah.
Giving it away.
I think it would serve CFC well to try to press up on Belconnen's defence a little bit. They're looking a little bit shaky there, so when Belconnen is in possession, I think if CFC was to put some pressure on them, it might play into their hands.
It's Pike. Wallace has chased all the way back to shadow her. It's out wide with Whittle. And intercepted by Churchill. Blocked out for a throw-in. Yeah, they've lacked a little bit of composure at the back so far, haven't they? They've just been sending the ball fairly long.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, I think that if CFC tried to exploit that, they might get some joy. But in saying that, you can never write Belconnen off in finding their composure. They managed to do it at the flick of a switch, so I have no doubt that that's around the corner for them.
Be interesting to see how important the first goal is this afternoon.
It's hugely important. Plays a huge mental part as well, getting that first goal. So, yeah, I think that'll prove very important.
Here's Brown. Plays it into space for Kataya. Neat and tidy midfielder, Kara Kataya.
Yeah, very much so. She came out from Canada, and she's studying physio here, and she's.
Well, here goes Maguire into the near post, and Jones had to be alert. You're saying about Kataya?
Yeah, she's played really, really well for Belconnen since she's joined them. She's just a really, really steady and composed player, and she's integral in their midfield and making sure that it runs nicely.
Well, she's doing well so far.
Yep.
No score in the final. Long ball forward, which Clark wins. Jalocka lets it bounce, and that allows Gill to win the ball, but she's got it back, the Belconnen midfielder. Looking to ride a challenge and win a free kick, and she gets it off of Hagen. No real hurry for Belco to get on with this.
No.
Michaela Day just puts it down and looks for an option somewhere. She might go short to Brown, which she does. Brown's pass is under hit again, though. That's 2 or 3 she's put in that have been under hit today, but they've got it back. And Day just lofts one over the top, looking for Raymond. Looking to take on Wright in the corner, and Chong's back to help out and gets a tackle in, and that may have come off a blue last. No,
it's a great
Angela
tackle
Gray
there.
says it's a throw. Good tackle though from Chong.
Really great tackle, nice and clean, got the ball, but a really strong one as well.
Defenders love that, don't they, when their forwards get back and help out?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a big difference. Unfortunately, with British Columbia in our team, it doesn't happen very often. So
Raymond swings that in to the edge of the box, and it's Whittle dancing with it. Back to Day, shooting chance perhaps, fires it at goal, but Jones is always behind that and
yeah,
looks comfortable.
very, very comfortable. Safe hands there.
Sends it high into the sky again, looking for the runner, and Clark's won the header once more. Falls for Whittle. Day looks for Pike outside her. Genovese chasing back, and that pass into the channel's asking an awful lot, and Amy McLaughlin's gone across to cover.
Yeah, Amy McLaughlin has really stepped it up over this last year. I'm really impressed with how she's stepped up. She played a little bit of reserves beforehand, or 20s as it was called, but this year she's really stepped up to the plate and served as an integral role for CFC.
They've got a reasonable defensive record, CFC, as well. They conceded 32 goals during the season, but they've tightened the ship the last few weeks.
Yeah, when it counts.
Which is why they're here today.
Absolutely.
Brown, Raymond's outsider, but Wright's come across and shown a positional sense. Is very much switched on today so far.
Yeah, very much so. As you can see, she probably lacks a little bit of physicality, but she combats that with being in the right place at the right time.
Here's Callaghan. She doesn't mind a physical battle. And that's a fairly robust challenge
Very much
from
so.
Galich as well. Callaghan is small in stature, but she definitely likes to get involved physically.
Yeah, she's a very, very strong player. Low centre of gravity, and she utilises it.
Chance for shot on the turn from Whittle, but it was always fading away from goal. Very sharp, though, Madeline Whittle. First real side of goal for her today.
Yeah, very much so. Huge threat for Belconnen, but as you can see, Chantal wasn't too happy that CFC didn't shut down the shot there, so I'm sure that's something that she'll be harping to her players about.
It's interesting to watch the movement of these front three. Maguire's now dropped out to the right-hand side. Whittle's come into the central position. Yeah. Very happy to change positions.
Yeah, and that's why they're so good and such top goal scorers, is because they can just interchange so easily, and they all know where each other needs to be at the right time.
Chong was there. Wright sends it forward. No one in that channel, though, so Catherine Brown has a lot of time to get rid of it, but she's been closed down.
Yeah.
Took a couple of touches too many, and Wallace came across.
Yeah.
Raymond with a long throw. Whittle flicks it on. It's just hoiked in the air. A bit less composed that time from McLaughlin, I think that was, who hooked that one away. Raymond will get us back underway. Up towards Whittle. Nice turn, looking to find Jalocka, and McLaughlin goes across towards her. Jalocka's going to get there, though. Here's a chance for Maguire on the edge of the penalty area. Looks to slide it through. Good piece of defending from Churchill, though. And Gill helps it on its way. Threatened to open up there for a moment.
Yeah, very much so. Surprised Jalocka.
As Genovese gets away. Running at Clark here. Only Wallace in support in the penalty area, though. She has to go it on her own, and in the end, the cross didn't have enough meat on it to get it past Catherine Brown.
Yeah.
20 minutes gone or so. It's still 0-0.
It'll be important for CFC to get up there in numbers. So as you can see, it was a bit isolated in that attack there, so putting some numbers forward is important.
Churchill floats that into the area, but there's no pressure for Manenica, who calmly catches and then punts it forward as quick as she can up towards Whittle, and hands in the back there from Galich, and that's a soft free kick to be given away in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. CFC have to turn and recover pretty quickly now. Jalocka
goes early, up towards Whittle, who controls it well. Is allowed to turn and find Raymond, who looking for the run in the area. It's Qatar who's made the forward run, and Churchill superbly defends to get away. And she almost snuck in around the back there, Cara Qatar, and she likes that little run.
Yeah, very much so. That sort of said she's just so composed and knows where to be at the right time, and that was an example of that. Churchill was lucky to get away with it, but in saying that, she did really well.
Clark with the right foot this time, and again, that one's overhit. And Jones has been fairly comfortable so far. Nothing really tested her.
No, not too much. I'm sure that'll change.
And this kick is going to be a weapon today. I think it's very long, and Clark's having to do a lot of aerial work.
Yeah. Just trying to win that battle of field position, which they certainly have an advantage with Chantal in goals there.
Here's Gill. Going to clip that one forward, looking for Chong, but Brown was there. Now Whittle lost out. McLaughlin in the centre of the park, and 3 Belconnen shirts converge on her, but they do well to get it to Gill, and she tries to find Genovese, and Pike's facing her own goal. Have to deal with this, and the defender does well.
Yeah. She's done really well so far, Pike has.
Certainly not looked out of place, and having a solid match, and it's going to be a testing afternoon. Here's Gill in towards Wallace. Bit of pressure on Brown, and this is going to be a set piece for Canberra FC and a chance for them to swing the ball into the penalty area. Yeah,
it'll be a really good opportunity. Again, they'll try to exploit Grayscale's height here, so provided that they can get a good ball in from Krista Hagen. Interesting to see what happens.
Hagen's trotted across to take this corner. She's been spending some time in the USA at college and now back in Canberra.
Yeah.
And on the field in the grand final. Let's see if she can deliver something good into the penalty area for her team. 4 red shirts in and around the 6-yard box. Hagen's delivery looks good. Menenica comes, gets 2 fists on it. It's going to drop out towards Churchill, who swings it straight back in there, and the flag had stayed down. Interestingly, to see whether it had gone up.
No, stayed down.
She got a touch on it, perhaps it may have gone up, but
yeah.
Promising signs for Canberra FC.
Yeah, very much so. It's nice to see that they're not lying down and just trying to hold Belconnen out. It's good to see them attacking and putting a little bit of pressure on it. Makes for an interesting game.
Clark sends it forward, and it's one in the air by Churchill. Out for throw in front of the bleachers on the far side. Reasonable turnout in the crowd today. It's been building up throughout the day.
Yeah.
Here's a chance perhaps for Belconnen, but that's well read by Galich again. She looks like a classy defender too.
She is a tough player to play, let me tell you that. She's very, very strong, and she just runs straight through you. So, yeah, she's been super impressive this year. She
had a train-on position with the Canberra United Academy last year, and Canberra United squad rather, and was in the Canberra United Academy as well. You can see she's got a bit of quality about her too.
Yeah, well deserved. She's a class act.
Yeah, her first year with Canberra FC and settled in really well. Looks very comfortable in possession.
Very much so. You can just see that she uses her height to her advantage as well. And she's got great distribution. You'll see that she takes a lot of the free kicks for CFC. So, yeah, she's one to keep an eye on for the years to come, I think.
Well, Jones is happy to let the clock tick a bit while she before she sends that one forward. Brown straight back towards Callaghan. Now Day. Raymond. Brown again. Better looking ball forward, but once again, that's good defending. Chong.
Nice touch.
Good ball in field to Galich. And that's good defending by Pike as well. Callaghan tries to knock it on, but it's a bit wayward with that header, and Grayscale picks it up in midfield. She's got Chong with her. Nowhere to go, really. Tries to force it through Day and Raymond, and there was never really the space to do that. Now here's perhaps a chance for Callaghan to get away from a marker, and she just overhit that one.
Yeah.
For a brief second, it opened up for her.
Yeah, very much so. That's a threatening position of Chloe there, is when she turns and gets players on the counter. She's just got so much pace and so much strength, it's really hard to counteract.
Callaghan wins a header again. 25 minutes gone live on Bar TV Sports. It's the Women's PS4 MPL Grand Final. Belconnen United 0, Canberra FC 0. Entertaining opening so far. Goal chances at a premium. But I'm sure we'll get some as we move along the day. Here's Brown. Looking for Whittle. Great turn. Got away from Wright. Into the penalty area. Still going Whittle. Tries to lay it off, and perhaps a shot might have been the option, but it was covered by Churchill.
I think you're probably right there, Russ. She set it up pretty nicely for herself and did all the hard work. Maybe try to be a little bit more selfish.
Yeah, it was a very unselfish thing to do, but it did open up for the shot. Chose not to take it on. Here's Wallace. Now Hagen. Towards Genovese. Pike wins the battle this time. Whittle. Jaloka. Gets past 2 challenges and still going. Going to slide it through. And Maguire couldn't take it in her stride, and that's an unfortunate handball.
Yeah.
Against Kutaya. A free kick to Canberra FC.
Nikki Jaloka is another one of those players that has really stepped up in the last year when Belconnen has needed her to. They got struck by a couple of injuries, and Nikki had been in and around it for the last 2 or 3 years, but this year she's taken Premier League in stride. So she's been a really integral part for Belconnen's success.
5 goals in the MPL this year for Jaloka.
Yeah.
She'll be looking to add to that today. Here she is challenging in the middle of the park. It's going to fall for Wright though. and finds its way to McLaughlin. He finds Hagen. Up to Wallace. Strong on the turn, but Brown gets in there. Sends it up top towards Maguire. Here's Clark. Now Whittle. Back to Clark again. Looking for the runner in behind, and it's Raymond who's made it. And in the end, it bounced through to Jones.
Yeah, that's what Belconnen does, and it's something that Gungahlin we tried to play out of the game a little bit against them. Is getting their right and left backs wrapping around and just creating that another attacking option for them.
Well, Day concedes a free kick on McLaughlin there.
Yeah.
Jasmine Maguire started the match with a pair of gloves on. She's got rid of them. Wasn't that cold, was it?
It's a lovely day.
You haven't even got a jacket.
I know.
Free kick, which Galich will take. Usual targets in the penalty area. Clips it in there, looking for a header, and it's won by, I think that was Wallace, and it's going to bounce, and Meneneka needs to come and gather. Needed a bit livid with her teammates for not getting on the end of that.
Yeah.
No one reacted to the head. It was a decent knockdown, really.
Very much so.
Maguire can't get hold of it. Galich finds McLaughlin. Callaghan's coming to win it. Asking
Good
a lot
tackle.
of Day, and McLaughlin is battling in there with it. It's been a good tussle between those two so far.
Yeah.
Here's Brown. Anthony Jagarinic on the edge of his technical area.
Yeah.
Barking
likes
some
that corner.
instructions.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge by Jaloka. Now, here's a chance for Belconnen. It's Maguire running at Churchill. Still going Maguire into the penalty area. Shooting chance, perhaps Churchill gets across the block. It's come from Maguire again, though. It's in the area and it's half cleared. Hooked in the air. It's going to break on the edge of the box. Raymond's there with a header. Chance for the overhead from Callaghan. That was fairly spectacular. It's broken to her again.
Gotta go.
Bouncing around here, and Raymond tried to swing a left foot at it, and it's come off the
Yeah.
side of her foot, but some goalmouth excitement there for the crowds.
Yeah, and usually that's where it falls nicely for Belconnen. They just have so much grit and determination that'll usually pop in the goal somehow. So CFC did really, really well to clear that up there, and that'll be important for them to keep doing.
Couldn't test Jones. Sends a goal kick forward, and it's well won by Kutaya. His Day, big swing at her there, and that's a free kick, and no complaints there from McLaughlin.
Don't think so, no.
What's Brown going to do with this one? They've tried several long balls, and none of them have come off so far.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to swing another one in.
Knocks it towards the far post, where Kutaya rose, but couldn't get a touch on it. Here's Pike. Back to Clark. She might swing the ball in again. She does. It's a decent-looking one. It's going to bounce in the area, but Jones shows all of experience to get it, and not just get it, but bowl it out underarm and start her team on the attack.
Great.
Raymond does well. Callaghan does well to block off the run of Chong, and the ball in from Jaloka is harmless enough. But there's the strength, the body strength of Callaghan that we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. She does it well. Like I said, she uses that low centre of gravity just to be shoulder to shoulder with a player.
Half an hour gone, still no closer to seeing who's going to win the Women's Premier League Grand Final here. Neither keeper's had a real save to make. Jones pumps it forward again. Now it's going to go all the way through to an opposite number. And Meneneka will get us going forward once more with Brown. Here's Raymond. Brown again. Day. Good press from Canberra FC though.
Yeah.
Clark's under pressure, and Hagen, that's a bit of a soft one unfortunately for Krista Hagen.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
And Clark has stayed down here. But a good press. It's not letting
Very
Belconnen
good
settle.
press.
It's not letting them
Yeah.
get the ball out as much as they would like to.
And I think that Belconnen probably aren't looking as calm as what they have in years before, and so CFC should be trying to press up and put that pressure on. So I think that if they were to continue with that, it'll keep on providing some joy like that. You saw that Belconnen was very unsettled there in the back in that play, so yeah.
It's a burning question, Ash. Did you score more goals than Britt this year?
Of course I did. I did, and I will claim that and run with it, even though she was away for more than half the season. So, but I'll still claim it. I don't even know if she got out of double digits, actually.
She's away overseas now, though, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's overseas in Croatia enjoying herself. So
Brittany Palumbi, a Gungahlin United striker. Ash Palumbi, a sister, alongside myself in the commentary box today, and we're enjoying what we're seeing so far, Ash, and looking forward to a bit more excitement and perhaps some more goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, hopefully so. It's been a good tussle so far, and I think as the game keeps going, it'll just open up.
His day. Looks for the run of Pike. Genovese having to do the defensive work on this occasion.
Yeah.
The ball swept into the area. I think it was Callaghan who played it in. Fallen for Kataya. Can't get hold of it in the front third at the moment.
It's a great check there by Wallace.
Canberra FC defending well. Here's Wallace. Now Chong. Give herself too much to do. Day. Forward to Callaghan. Back to Day again. Here's Whittle. And she's caught in that challenge by Galich.
And that's the risk with how hard Galich comes in, is sometimes she does put herself in positions to foul players, but, 9 times out of 10 it does pay off for her, and that she comes in and cleans up that ball.
Karen Clark back with us, recovered from that knock she sustained by that challenge from Hagan on the edge of her own penalty area. And Catherine Brown lines up this free kick. It's a long way out from goal. You think she may just try and drop this somewhere in the penalty spot. In fact, she's I think rather ambitiously gone for goal there.
Surprising against Chantel. You'd be very hard pressed to get one like that against Chantel. I think she's too much of a class act to not be reading that.
Well, we know Catherine Brown's got a cannon of a left foot when she gets hold of it. She didn't on that occasion, but as you said, it's a fairly ambitious effort against a quality goalkeeper like Jones.
Yeah, Brownie's left foot is something to keep your eye on throughout the game. If she gets an opportunity to press up through the field, she'll absolutely try to use it, but she'll also just dink balls in behind the players and turn them around.
Callaghan switched wings to try a luck down the right-hand flank for Belconnen. Pike will take the throw. Whittle helps it on to Callaghan, but she can't keep it in play. Just over 10 minutes to half-time. Still no score. Crowd built up throughout the game and looking forward to seeing the first goal of the afternoon. And it's going to be absolutely critical, whoever gets that. Churchill does well defensively again.
I came into the game thinking that it was definitely going to be a low-scoring one, so I'm not surprised that it's 0-0, but like you said, that first goal is going to be critical.
Pike throws it in. I was talking to Chantal Jones before kickoff, and I was suggesting if they get a free kick up the other end, she maybe should pop up there and try and get her 20th of the season.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. She loves it. She loves getting up there and using her size as a winning point there, and it's proved to work for them. That's why she's got 19 goals to her name.
Interestingly enough, Canberra have not named a substitute goalkeeper on the bench if something were to happen to Jones, and I've been reliably informed that probably Alice Churchill will go in goal if she needed to, if that ever eventuated.
Yeah.
The long throw into the penalty area. It was Clark, I think, who threw it in there.
Clark's long throw.
And that's just helped on its way clear by Wright. Day's going to pick up the pieces. Under pressure from McLaughlin in the middle towards Callaghan, who flicked it on. And again, it's Chantal Jones's awareness of where the ball was going to land. Brown wins the header. Wallace in with a firm challenge on Raymond, and she wins herself a free kick.
Wallace is working well there.
Jagarinik not happy with that decision. Up off his chair. 7'3" tall, Anthony Jagarinik, around that, isn't he?
Really? Around
something around that.
Something around that.
Maybe not quite that big.
Yeah. He's a huge presence and an amazing coach.
Having a chat with Mitch Whedon, the fourth official there, wondering why this free kick was given. Galich is going to take it, chip it into the penalty area, and it's flicked on by Wallace. And once again, Canberra FC slow to react to the header won by the American.
Yeah. She'll continue to be a presence in that middle there, so it's important that her team is working off her, because as a striker you can get frustrated if you're not getting the rewards for your work. So she's doing a great job. Her teammates just need to keep working for her.
She's entitled to ask the question why no one's reacting to the flick-ons. That's 2 or 3 times she's won it now.
Absolutely. And I think that'll be a point that the coach hopefully talks about at half-time for them.
They can be proud of what they've done so far. They're looking very much in this contest.
Very much so.
Here's Whittle. Maguire, rather. This is Whittle chasing this one. She's got away from a marker. Bit of space. Chong's back, though, and takes it off her toe to concede the corner.
That's Whittle's pace on display there. It's an absolute weapon for Belconnen, and they'll continue to try to utilise that.
Well, she's going to stand in front of Jones off this corner.
Her height's not her strong point.
Fox in the box, though, and she can get only knocked down here, and Qatar will swing this in to the danger area if she can. Brown's lurking with intent on the far post, as is Karen Clark. It's headed towards that, but Jones is going to clutch that all day long.
Yeah.
As soon as it was in the air and Jones had her mind set on getting it, you knew she was going to grab that.
Exactly, and that's the reason why she's there. Like I said, Belconnen's corners and set pieces are one of their main attacking weapons, and so by having her there, that just nullifies that, and that was an example of it.
There's Genovese, shoved over by Day, and that's a free kick. Well, no, it's not, apparently.
It's not a free kick.
It looked like a free kick from where we were.
Definitely did.
Angela Gray says no. Wright gets on with it. Hagen battles in the middle with Day. Back to Raymonds. And Brown's left her a bit short there, but she does well to find Jaloka. And Clark pressures on. A good press again from Canberra.
Yeah.
See, and they're going to get the ball back again, not allowing Belconnen to settle whatsoever. Here's Chong.
She's done
a nice
well
turn.
there.
Slickly done, but the pass was just asking too much of Gray's skill.
Yeah.
Amy McLaughlin stole forward to win it, and it's back with Galich. And she'll go all the way back to Jones to start again. I'm sure this one will be sent way down the field towards Genovese again, who's going to sleep well tonight. She's chased up and down that flank so far.
Chantel's put her to work, but such a great boot that she's got. She may as well utilise it, and that distribution is such a key point for our CFC today.
You almost get the feeling that maybe Genovese should start 5 or 6 yards further up the field.
Yeah,
with the boot that Jones has got on there.
Exactly. Put herself right on that last line and see if she can check in behind them.
Manenica with a goal kick. Kutaya brings it down. Finds Whittle. Beaten in the challenge though, and that one's going to roll all the way through towards Wallace. She's gone at Pike and past her. Sends it into the middle. Clark at the second attempt pops it away, only as far as Gill though. Tries to slide it through. Can't find a way through the mass ranks of the blue defence. And Genovese's got that one wrong. But her team cover 4 at the back, and here's Amy McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Going back to Jones.
CFC will just settle now. I think Jones will take as much time as she can. Oh.
Pressure came on suddenly. It was Maguire, was it? Whittle, was it?
Whittle.
Who
Yeah,
chased
Whittle.
it down. Looked like she had all the time in the world. Then all of a sudden a bit of the afterburner on from Whittle, and pressure was on suddenly.
It's that pace. She's a little whippet.
Deceptively quick.
Oh, amazingly quick. Makes it hard when you're defending her. Not that I defend much.
I was going to say, you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
you know about as much about defending as I do.
Yeah, not much.
Not much at all. I trapped back once.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, I remember it well.
You probably caused a foul.
Probably. Here's Callaghan. Here's a chance for Whittle to use that pace. And she's got in here, Maddie Whittle, into the penalty. A real chance here. And Jones makes the save, plunging to her right, two-handed. And not only does she save it, but she holds on to it as well.
Yeah, and that's why she's there. That's proof in the pudding. Maddie Whittle is a clinical finisher, and even on that occasion, she put it in the right spot. Chantal was just too good there.
Against almost any other goalkeeper in the league, that's 1-0 to Belconnen, you'd think.
Very much so. You've seen Maddie Whittle in that position so many times, and that's why she's on 32 goals. So Chantal's done amazingly well there.
And she's still on 32 as Jones denies her. But a warning there as she got in behind.
Yeah.
Maguire tries to put Callaghan into a similar position. Hagen's back to help out. Here's Chong. Under pressure from Raymond. Hagen just sends that down the line.
I've been impressed with Chong today. She's got a great touch, and she seems nice and composed there.
She spent time as a trainer with the Perth Glory squad in the W League, and apparently she's a budding AFL player as well. So
no way.
Bit of pedigree there too from her.
Very much so.
Here's Genovese. Gill. Back to Galich. Looking for the run of Chong.
That.
But Raymond has got this one covered.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes to half time, Ash. And where are you headed at this one? Who are you thinking is going to come out on top? It's difficult to say.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call. I would not be surprised that it went the full 90 without a goal and we fell into extra time. And then my call is that Belconnen might sneak one in just based on fitness and maybe a little bit of experience as well.
Well, last night at the NPL final series, if it went to penalties, it was the ABBA penalty sequence.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is for this one. I will have to check that at half time.
What's that?
The new penalty sequence where the team goes first and then the team that goes second and third. Two penalties in a row. And whether or not that's been brought in for this competition, we'll check that with the officials at half time.
That'd be very
to see if we get that far.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're looking like that because we haven't had too many goal-scoring opportunities. The best one of the half falling to Whittle. Denied by Jones.
Yeah.
They lose a little bit with her not on the field, don't they?
Yeah.
But they certainly gain an awful lot in goals, and that's no detriment to the goalkeepers that they've had throughout the season.
Not at all. I think her name was Nat that stepped up for the last few games after Georgia Stewart got injured. And Nat Buster did really, really well. We played against her 3 times, and she was hard to beat. So yeah, it was. She did really, really well this season, but I think it was more of a tactical play today.
Yeah, Georgia Stewart has been a goalkeeper for Canberra FC for a number of years now, hasn't she?
Yeah, she was an outfield player turned goalkeeper, and she was then trained by Chantel, and she did really, really, really well in that position for so long for them. Unfortunately, fell out with a fractured wrist.
That's why she's not here today, and Jones doing exceptionally well in goal, as you would expect from a goalkeeper of her quality. We come into the final minute of the first half, and Manenica looks to get Pike on the run. Bit of room in which to manoeuvre, but Genovese is herring back after her. Puts pressure on.
She did well to track back there.
She did, but chance for Belconnen to get this ball into the penalty area.
Great turn.
It's a good slaloming run across the penalty area. Real chance here for Callaghan! Oh. And under pressure defensively, it's wide for a corner, and I think that's a pat on the back there for Bridget Wright, who was involved.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a tap-in all the way for Callaghan, but Wright got in to deny her.
And that's how they will have to beat Chantel in goals, is by pulling her out, drawing that ball to the byline, and then getting a ball back across goal, taking her out of the game so that she doesn't have the capacity to do those diving, amazing saves.
It was a slaloming run. Was it Whittle that got
in
it was again?
Whittle.
Once again, she's causing issues with her pace and direct running. Here's Kutaya swinging this into the penalty area, but Jones is always going to catch them.
Always.
Get a feeling that maybe they need to. Ooh, bit of a swing there, and then she dropped it. Wanted to go early.
She doesn't like to be pushed around.
And Genovese is going to chase after this. Out comes Manenica and does well at the other end. 2 good goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Both unflustered. But you get the feeling with these corners, they need to drop them further out towards a penalty spot, because Jones is going to gobble them up for breakfast.
Take her out of the game in that position, but she's just so strong, so it becomes really, really difficult.
Maguire punts that one over the top, looking for Whittle, and Churchill is chasing back to complete the clearance. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. It's been an enjoyable one. No goals. As is the case with most grand finals, though, it generally goes the distance.
Yeah. It's been a great game so far.
One swung into the penalty area. It's going to fall for Whittle, Callaghan, who tried to sweep it towards goal, and referee Angela Gray says that's the end of the half. No goals, Ash, but plenty of incidents, and Canberra FC more than holding their own against the favourites.
Absolutely, yeah. But Canberra FC are doing really, really well against an experienced Belconnen side, and it's good to see that it is a contest. Sometimes you step into games against Belconnen and you get, I guess, kind of dimmed by the event. But yeah, Canberra FC have done really, really well, but Belconnen showing their class. They're not looking like conceding anytime soon either, so it'll be a really tight one.
The best of the half chances falling to Belconnen. Maddie Whittle getting in, Chantal Jones making the save, and then how crucial intervention from Bridget Wright there when Callaghan looked like she was about to tap them into the lead. So Belco have created a couple of half opportunities, but Will Anthony Jagiellonik be displeased with what he's seen, or would he just be a bit upset that they've not been as composed as they probably usually are?
I think that that's exactly it. I think that Ant will probably just go into the change rooms and try to calm his players down and make sure that he's getting the best out of them, which I think at this point he's probably not quite got in this first half. I think that they're not quite as composed as what they usually are, and that's been shown out in the game. It's 0-0, but it's a really, really good tussle, and credit to both teams. They're playing really, really well.
Well, as the Mini Roos come out onto the field, thanks for your company in this first half. Ash, we're going to the break. We'll be back, of course, for live coverage of the second half, but here at McKellar Park at half-time in the Women's National Premier League Grand Final, it's Belconnen United 0, Canberra FC 0. Welcome back to McKellar Park. It's half-time in the Women's Premier League Grand Final between Belconnen United and Canberra FC. No goals here at the moment, live on Bar TV Sports. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Ash Pullenby was with me for the first half. She's shuffled over now onto another seat, and I'm joined by former Canberra United player and Gungahlin United footballer Grace Fields. Welcome, Grace.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. It's a beautiful afternoon for it.
What have you made of the first half so far? You watched it, stood next to us in the commentary box here.
Yeah, it's been really good so far. I think Belco have created a couple of really good chances. I think CFC in this half will need to try and get their numbers forward. I think that's what they're lacking. But other than that, both midfields it's a really tight competition in the midfield and across the park. So yeah, don't know which way it's going to go this second half.
We were saying off the air that Canberra FC have been very solid at the back. They've looked very good in midfield, but they're lacking just a little bit of penetration in the front third. Yeah,
that's it. I think it's about getting numbers forward. I think, as you said, they're solid at the back and they're playing it out through the midfield, but it's just getting those numbers forward into the front line and trying to get some shots on goal, maybe hitting Gracie's feet and trying some long ones too.
The Blue Devils have come onto the field, their team for the start of the second half. It doesn't look like they've made any changes. It's Menenica in goal, the back four of Pike, Clark, Brown and Raymond. Midfield three of Day, Kutaya and Jaloka up front, Callaghan, Maguire and Whittle. In fact, we can see Katie Woodman taking the field there, number 2. Be interesting to see who she's come on for. So that's an interesting change for the start of the second half. We'll just keep an eye on that, see which one of the Belco players hasn't come out for the second half. Let's have a look at Canberra FC. Jones in goal, Churchill, Amy McLaughlin, Galich and Wright, Gill, Hagan, Hayley McLaughlin, front three of Chong, Wallace and Genovese. So we'll try and identify which one of the Belconnen players has gone when they break up from their huddle. Who can you see out there, Grace? Is it perhaps Clark?
Oh, Karen Clark, centre back. She went off with an injury and came back on, I think, but they've taken her off. So
yeah, but she got a knock, didn't she, when she got tackled by Krista Hagan there? So Woodman comes on. Is that a light-for-light change? Will Woodman drop into the back four, or will we see a little bit of change?
No, I think what they'll do is bring Katie into the midfield, and it looks like they're dropping Mickey Day back into centre back.
Well, Mickey Day played there, I think, in the Federation Cup final in the central defensive role and did a decent job.
Yeah,
so very experienced centre-back pairing now with Day and Brown in there.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Mickey's a tough player. She'll definitely get in and make those tough tackles. So I'm sure they'll find it won't hurt them having to take Karen out there.
Well, Maguire will start the second half for Belconnen United. Referee Angela Gray is ready for us to get on with this one. And these front three, Maguire, Whittle and Callaghan, there's 69 goals between them. Hardly had a sniff in that first half. And it wouldn't be many games this season, Grace, where they've gone a half without scoring a goal.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. They're tough up the front. Their speed too. Maddie and Chloe are both incredibly quick, and they just utilise that so well with the long balls out through Brown and through Karen when she's out there. They've just been exploiting that all season, and it's been really effective for them.
First touch for Woodman. Neat and tidy pass forward to Pike. And she'll advance into Canberra territory. Chong goes back to help out, and it's going to break for Callaghan. Looks to swing that towards the far post, and it's going to fall through for Raymond, who's going to pick up the pieces, send it to the edge of the area. Jaloka finds Whittle, and she's lost out though. And Hagan helps it up towards Wallace, who holds it up, looking for support.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is where they need to start getting their numbers forward. As you can see, she's receiving it to her feet, but she's facing backwards and sort of looking for someone to play it to.
A very isolated figure on that occasion. They do need to get some red shirts up to help her. There's Whittle getting involved on the far side with Genovese, who swapped flanks at the start of this second half. Didn't get much change out of Bronte Pike in the first half, did she?
No, not at all.
Here's Wallace. Under pressure, and the ball is turned over, and Brown has it for Belconnen as the sun sets behind the Ken Carter stand here at McKellar Park, home of Belconnen United Football Club. Here's Day. Thumps that one down the field. They won the under-19s final, and they've won the reserve grade final, looking for the trifecta.
Trifecta, yeah.
They got it last week in the men's competition.
Did they?
Yeah, they won the 18s, 20s and first grade. So
it's a strong club, and I think that's what they have. They just have so much depth across the park and through all their grades.
It's McLaughlin looking to stab that goalwards. You can see what she was trying to do, but never got hold of it, and it's trickled harmlessly through to Menenica. How was your season on a personal level, Grace? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I certainly did. Yeah, I think we had a good season this year. It was really nice. Some of our young girls really stepped up. We gelled really well as a team. So, yeah, I really enjoyed my season with Gungahlin.
And a chance for you guys to come back next year a bit stronger and push for that elusive grand final spot and the trophy?
Hopefully. We've come very close 3 years in a row, so it'll be nice if we can finally make the grand final next year.
Well, it's good to see lots of competition in the women's competition at the moment, with yourselves and Canberra FC and Tuggeranong United putting in a good shift this season as well. They're looking to recruit strongly in the off-season, so some good sides there, and it's not quite as one-sided as it used to be.
Exactly, yeah. This season we've seen changes in teams up and down the table, and we've seen some results that we wouldn't have normally expected, so that's been really good as well. It's kept the competition interesting.
Well, Wallace has been flagged offside here. The Canberra FC support, not quite sure why she's been pinged there, but that was, it looks like it was an offside on the far side. The linesman flagged it early, and this will be a free kick. Mitch Whedon just explaining to Mark Rosteski that it was offside. Day sent it forwards. Looking for Callaghan. They want a bit more out of Chloe Callaghan this half.
Yeah, certainly. I think she needs to start taking on players one-on-one. That's her strength. She's so quick and so strong.
This year's getting involved. A bit deeper than she would like to be, covering for Bronte Pike. Dropping into right back at the moment.
That's another thing they do very well. Out wide, they sort of switch between right back, left back and the wings, and I think that really works for them.
Here is Pike, who's in a bit more of an advanced role at the moment. She's looking for the run off Maguire into the channel nicely. Standing up the defender, looking to get the cross into the penalty box. She's beaten McLaughlin with a good ball in, and it's bounced off of Whittle, who stuck a foot out, and Jones was there. Didn't get enough on it, and there's a card here for Nicole Jaloka, is that? Must have said something to the officials.
Yeah, or got in Chantel's way there, coming out of the goal.
Well, it's interesting because she stopped the game for it, so it must have been something that had happened. You don't normally stop the game for dissent. So it must have been a obstruction. But that was a chance there for Whittle. She couldn't get a head on it. It came off her back more than anything. Not renowned for her aerial prowess, as Ashley said in the first half.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Pretty open start to the second half. Here's Jaloka. I think she's fired up by that yellow card, and she's off on a marauding run. That's well cleared by McLaughlin. And as far as Kutaya. Jaloka again. Maguire. And it's Hayley McLaughlin in there to make the tackle. Pushes out to this near side where Chong has to do some defensive work, and she's left it a bit short, and Churchill fires it off of Callaghan. 5 minutes of the second half gone, live on Bar TV Sports, no score. And as we were pretty much in the first half, Grace.
Yeah, certainly. I think Churchill's also playing really well back there. I think she's actually the one keeping Chloe at bay. Chloe's not having not taking her on, because she's really solid back there, Churchill. We
mentioned at the top of the broadcast about Churchill's quality as a team captain, and I think she's the longest serving player in this Canberra FC squad at the moment. Been there for a long time. Chong wins that header. Here's Wallace, but beaten to it by Day. McLaughlin can't get it under control, and Woodman helps it forward. It's bouncing where Whittle looks to take on Galich. Someone needs to get their foot on this one. It's out towards Chong. Pike's got her facing her own goal though. And here comes support in the form of Callaghan, but Chong does very well there to win a throw. They double team quite well, don't they? When one player's got a possession, there's another blue shirt straight in there to try and hassle.
They certainly do.
Full of energy. Here's Wallace.
Yeah, Belco seem to have come out firing into this second half. They're fighting for everything, so they're finding a lot of space in the middle too, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up.
Whittle looking to take on the Canberra FC defence, who stand firm. Here's Day. Well, that's a bit short from Day, and she's got it back, fortunately, off of Wallace. And that one's asking a bit for Brown, and Genovese was hunting it down. Brown sent it out of play. Looking at the bench, Grace, Belconnen United, they've got Jessie Williams and Caitlin Munoz, two renowned forward players on there as well. Do you think it'll be long before we see one of those? Yeah,
I don't think it will be, to be honest. It's pretty incredible to have those two sitting on your bench, and I think when they come into the game, they'll both bring that composure up front. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be too long before we see one of them come on.
Here's Jaloka to Callaghan, gets it back again, and gives it back again to Callaghan, who's started the second half brightly, looking to take on Churchill, but that's very good defending again from the fullback. Concedes the corner. Let's see if they've learned their lesson from the first half. They dropped far too many of these right onto Chantal Jones's head. And with her height and skill, she's easily going to catch those.
Yeah, that's it. They're going to have to try and hit the top of the box and keep it away from the penalty spot.
Well, Kataya's lining this one up. Let's see where she puts this one. She'll swing this in with the right foot. Again, it's dropped, and Jones doesn't get it this time, and that's a good piece of defending from Galich. They head it out as far as Brown. Back to Raymond. Look to sweep her foot around it. It's going to fall here. Almost canny for Jalocka, but again, Jones read it well. And for the first time, she looked a little bit less than 100% on that cross. Better ball in from Qatar on that occasion.
Yeah, certainly. Still really good defending from Canberra FC back there, though, to get that one out.
Nothing in this one so far. Here's Gill. Now Chong. Back to Gill again. They're looking to pull Canberra Belconnen out here a little bit, but Brown and Day are very competent back there. And here's Pike from Brown. Ball forward, and Churchill wins that battle with Callaghan. It's been a good duel, this one.
Yeah, certainly. Two really quality players back there.
Callaghan towards Whittle. Chance for Whittle to run and pass the marker. Looking for Callaghan, takes over into the penalty. A real chance here. She slides it off. Opportunity for Maguire, but she can't get her shot away. And it's straight at Chantal Jones, and an opportunity goes begging for Belconnen.
Some really good play there all the way across the field, and to not get that one away is very unlucky.
Didn't get enough on the shot, did she? And it was easy enough for Jones in the end. But the first time we really saw Callaghan and Whittle running at the defence in a direct manner, and Callaghan's looking to do so again and gets the foul off of Grace Gill. Are Belconnen about to turn the screw?
Look, they're pressing high, aren't they? They're putting a lot of pressure on Canberra FC back there. So it'll just be whether they can get one of those cutbacks and try and keep that ball away from Chantal.
Well, Day's behind this free kick. Not a huge amount of aerial prowess to look for. Goes over the top looking for Raymond, and that's a good touch away by Wright again, who's defended well today. Concedes the corner.
Yeah, defending really well. All the way across the back, Canberra FC have really stepped up today.
Lifted themselves for the final, as we probably knew they would. Qatar's going to take this one. Once again, we'll see if she can pick out a blue shirt. It's a good-looking cross again. Jones doesn't come for this one, and Galich is the one that wins it.
Galich is winning a lot of ball in the air back there.
Belco still have the ball. Well, they don't. It's apparently come off a blue shirt, and it's a Canberra FC throw. Maybe it is set up for someone like Caitlin Munoz to come on, or Williams, who we saw in the Fed Cup final, come on and score twice within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You know, she's got the ability to score goals.
They'll definitely be looking to bring Jessie on. She's so quick with her feet and such a creative player, and I think that's what they need to try and get that ball past Chantal.
Well, McLaughlin's won it in the middle of the field here, looking for Genovese, but Brown's got across and wins it well. Jalocka has it back, though. Now Pike. Hasn't let that one run across her when really she needed to take that first time. Here's Chong. We've had 11 minutes of the second half, and Menenik has hardly touched the ball this half. It's been pretty much all Belconnen.
Yeah, certainly. They're starting to hit their stride, so CFC have just got to keep fighting and just try and keep that ball and stay in the game.
Here's Hagan. Two blue shirts, as I mentioned before, just hustling her off the ball. It was Jalocka and Callaghan this time, and Jalocka came away with it. Hagan not happy. Thought she was fouled. Now here's Raymond. Bursting forward.
They just don't stop fighting Belco too. We've found that we've been scored against in the last 10 minutes a couple of times, and it's just a result of them just keep chipping.
Woodman leaves it for Maguire, shooting chance here, and she fires it in low. And once again, Chantal Jones gets the body behind the ball. And once again, you get the feeling on any other day, that's probably in the net.
Certainly, yeah. Chantal just makes such a massive difference for them back there. She's so composed, and she just runs that back line too.
Well, she got a fair bit of that one. She got a lot more of that one than she did with the better chance she had 5 minutes ago. And had she caught that one with the same amount of pace, it may have been interesting.
Certainly.
Here's Jalocka. Kutsaya. Bit of an aimless ball forward, and Galich read it well and easily got hold of it, but gave it straight back to Kataya. Now here's Maguire. And Galich across there again. And Jones has it at her feet. Belconnen getting a better share of the ball in this half. Pretty much all being played in Canberra territory at the moment. Here's Raymond. Nice touch by Maguire to find Whittle. She's got Callaghan running one way, but Hagan saw that pass. It's back with Maguire though. And she gets another shot away, and again Jones is behind it, but they are getting more shots on target this half.
They certainly are, and they're starting to work the ball through the midfield as well, which is their strength.
Putting the pressure on Canberra FC. Here's Genovese. Cuts inside nicely and finds Hagan. Her ball in behind was looking for Chong, but Pike had read that one and got a foot on it. Here's Gill. Plays a pass to herself.
Grace Gill's going to have to start to step up in this second half too. She's such a composed head in that midfield. And
she skips past Woodman and wins herself a free kick. Looking at Canberra FC's opportunities, they've got Erin Boxell, Kate Thornton, Gabby Risteska, Diane Wilson and Millie Mallinson on the bench. So not a lot of proven talent there. A lot of young quality.
Yeah, certainly, and that's what they'll need. They'll just need some fresh legs to come on and start to play some balls forward and get forward. And
well, here's one now. Here's Kate Thornton coming on. She's coming on for Genovese. So Thornton, highly rated at Canberra FC. Genovese's worked really hard today.
Yeah, she certainly has. She's definitely stepped up, created some good chances for CFC today.
So Thornton will go out to that far side, I would imagine, and look to keep the pressure on the Canberra FC fullbacks. Swung into the penalty area, won by Wallace. Flag's gone up there. She's a threat in the air, Marcia Wallace. Won the ball again. That time it didn't quite fall for her. It's a good free kick as well.
Yeah,
swung in by Galich.
Well swung in.
And Menenica takes the free kick, finds Day. And she sends it forward. Maguire can't get hold of it, and Churchill will need to cover this one. Back to Jones. Nasty bobble for Jones there. That's the first time she's not looked 100% comfortable.
Yeah, certainly.
With the ball at her feet.
Still did her job though.
Got rid of it. It's not in her net, and that's the important thing.
Exactly.
Half an hour to go. Still no score. Belconnen looked the more likely in the start of the second half, but Kataya's lost out here to Gill. Perhaps a chance for Canberra FC. No real pace on the break though. And that's asking a fair bit of Thornton. She's just come on. But she's got a foot in the youngster. And concedes the throw.
And that's another example. CFC just need to try and get those numbers forward. Gracie just looked up there and just couldn't find someone's feet.
Thornton's been a bit unfortunate with injury this year, so she hasn't played as many games as she would have liked. Seems to be a common theme. Quite a lot of these players have had to time out through injury. Thornton's touched it forward. Pike will get this on, get us going again. Churchill wins it. Skipper's header there, and it's going to fall for Brown. Touch from Whittle, looking for Raymond. Opportunity perhaps now for Belconnen. Raymond swings that in, but that's Churchill's all the way. Up towards Thornton. Gets it back off Jalocca. And there's Qatar. She tidies up well in the middle of the park, Kyra Qatar. She's must be a tough customer to play against.
Certainly. She keeps the ball. She's got really quick feet and she's tough. So she's definitely a hard player to play against. And as Ash mentioned, she has really good vision too.
Pike challenges with Wallace, and Wallace comes back to win it. And she's got pressure here from Callaghan. That's sending it forward. No runners there that time, and Mickey Day's got all the time in the world to bring it back for Belconnen.
Yeah, I think that's
what... It's a little bit too extravagant from Day.
Belconnen are really finding their stride now. They're keeping the ball nicely and playing it out through the back.
Pike wins the header twice, and then Gill tries to head it back, but all she's done is help it on to Whittle. Callaghan comes in, and a bit of a swing there from Churchill, and I'm surprised that's not been pulled for a free kick. No real advantage there either, and I think they've dodged one there. Pike will take the throw. She gets it back again from Whittle. Now Callaghan. Whittle again. Space here. Good turn. Look for the ball down, I think, for Callaghan to run back onto, but Callaghan wasn't there. And it's out for a goal kick. So 18 minutes of the second half. Still no score. Where are we going to find a breakthrough, Grace?
Yeah, look, it looks like it's starting to open up a little bit as players start to tire. I'm sure there'll be more shots on goal, and we might see something.
Seems to be set up for someone to do something special. That's what you hope for on grand final day, isn't it? That it's not a mistake that costs the team, but someone comes up with something outstanding to win it.
Yeah, Callaghan and Whittle are looking very dangerous at the moment, so I'm sure Belco will be trying to exploit that.
Whittle leaves the ball go out for a throw, which Pike will take. Woodman came to collect, but she's lost possession of it, and it will be a Canberra FC throw. In the shadows of the stand, floodlights on, sun going down, temperature about to drop by about 20 degrees. Does that in Canberra, doesn't it?
Yeah, once that sun goes. It's a calm day out there, though, so that wind...
That's unusual for McKellar, isn't it? Usually howls through the back here. You played here plenty of times, both at club football and with Canberra United, and that wind usually howls across this field. It
sure does, yeah. And then scorching hot in summer, Canberra United.
Can't win. You played some games on here where it's been very, very warm. Here's Whittle swinging that one in. In fact, I think I remember you playing a Canberra United game where it got abandoned, Grace.
Yeah,
with
yeah. That
a huge amount of water down at Deakin Stadium there. I think it may have cost you a goal, didn't it? The ball held up in the
It certainly did, yeah. Yeah, it certainly did.
Few years back?
For my, yeah.
Is that your debut, I
My
think?
debut, yep.
Looked like you were going to get a goal and it just held up in a puddle which was probably ankle deep by that stage.
Exactly.
Referee had no choice but to abandon that one. Not going to get as much rain today, or any. Doesn't look like so.
Hopefully not.
No clouds
Still
in the sky
beautiful.
whatsoever. Lovely evening in Canberra. All that's missing here is a goal. We've got 25 minutes to find one, otherwise we're going to extra time. And then penalties. Here's Gill. That's picked off, and chance over on the far side, and it's out of play. And looking at the Canberra C bench, do you know an awful lot about these players? Boxall, and looks like Gabby Risteska is going to join us at some stage.
I don't know a lot about them, to be honest. Canberra FC have certainly got some young talent coming through, so it'll be good to see what they can create today.
Ball's been tapped forwards, and we're going to see her shortly, I think. Risteska, described as a pacey and aggressive striker. Lots of games in the Resis, but not huge amounts in first grade. Here's Gill. This is a chance for Wallace to get there, and she's got away from Pike. Day's come across. Here goes Wallace. Looking to send that one through. It's bounced off Brown. Shooting chance back from McLaughlin. Across comes Raymond. And the ball's in there, and Meneleke gets a big hand on it and does really well in the end to block that one. The first time this half, though, that we've seen Canberra FC attack.
Yeah, certainly. They looked very dangerous there too. They really exploited their strength out wide. That's what they've got to just keep doing, keep getting those numbers forward.
Well, there's a dangerous moment there where I think Raymond stuck a leg out, and McLaughlin could have gone down, but she stayed on her feet and almost got a reward. That was Gallitz trying to bring it away, and Belco have possession back. Intercepted. I'm told that if it does go to penalties, it is the old system, so there'll be one after the other, not the new ABBA system. Do you have taken part in many penalty shootouts, Grace?
Have to say it's not my thing. I shy away from penalty shootouts.
Ash Palumbi likes a penalty.
She sure does.
Any sort of free goal that Ash can get to boost up her tally. I imagine there's massive fights in the Palumbi household over Golden Boot trophies.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That off-season must be terrible if one of them's won it and the other one hasn't. The parents would be just not happy at all. It'd be like, oh. Sibling rivalry, nothing like it.
Exactly.
Was that much that sort of thing in your household?
Not so much. My siblings are a little bit older, so I sort of got away with that. But my brother used to take me out in the backyard and play one-on-one, so I think that's how I...
A real chance here, opportunity, is this the first goal? It's not! It's just gone wide of the post. It was Woodman who stole in. She doesn't get many. For the first time, though, they've beaten Jones, but she also beat the post.
Yeah, another great play there from Belconnen.
Good opportunity for Woodman, and they've opened them up for the first time. Was that where you learned your football? In the back garden with your siblings?
Sure was, yeah, with my brother. So he was the one who built me up to be pretty tough out there.
Ball is charged down. A lot of interesting that siblings get you involved in football. Who do you reckon's a better goal scorer than Ash or Britt? You both for Gungahlin.
I have absolutely no doubt that Ash is the one who put you up to that question. I think they're both amazing talents and they both have their strengths. Brittany's so quick out there, and Ash is such a fighter.
I understand Brittany's watching from Croatia, so she won't be happy with that conversation. I'm sure she'll have a text in a minute. She'll claim it. She'll claim it. Could do with someone like that, though. Plenty of goals between those two, and plenty of goals potentially on the field here today, and none in the back of the net at the moment. We're still hopeful that we'll get one in the final 20 minutes or so, otherwise we will get extra time and penalties.
Yeah, as I said, as the players start to tire, I'm sure the game will open up and there'll be more shots on goal.
Here we're going to see Gabby Risteska. And she's going to come on for Chong.
She's done really well out there today, Chong. She's really stepped up.
So it's a big ask of Risteska to get involved and come up with the goods. It's often people, though, that you don't expect that get you the goal on grand final day or get the moments that wins it.
Yeah, certainly. Something different out there. Some fresh legs, I'm sure it'll make a difference for Canberra FC.
I think Anthony Jagarinic's chatting to one of his substitutes. Is that Jesse Williams down there getting ready to come on?
Yeah, it looks like Jesse Williams. They need her out there to create something new and try and get some shots away.
Here comes Gill. And Pike gets a foot in. And we're going to see Jesse Williams. It'll be interesting to see which one of his forwards is taken off. It's Callaghan. Somewhat of a surprise, perhaps.
Yeah, it's tough when you've got a squad like this. So much depth.
Not been a best game, Callaghan. She's not had as much influence as she normally does, but she's worked really hard.
Yeah, certainly. You're right. And as we said, I think Churchill's what's made the difference back there.
Thornton helps it forward towards Wallace. Churchill sends it forward. And Brown wins it. Hagan is beaten to it, but the ball's going to drop nicely for Gill. Here's Thornton. Sorry, that was Churchill to Thornton, who rode the challenge from Pike and now finds Wallace. Turns a lovely turn now. Thornton's got space. Ball at the penalty area. Risteska arrives. That would have been some first touch. Back from McLaughlin to Risteska. It's bouncing around the penalty area and Risteska on the turn, and it's going to trickle wide from goal. Really, almost an immediate impact from the substitute.
Yeah, certainly, and really good job from Thornton out here too. She's playing feet and she's getting those balls across in front of goal.
Marcia Wallace, just a word on her. She plays really well with the back to goal, doesn't she? There's not many strikers like her in this competition that hold the ball up so well and bring the team into play.
Certainly, and I think that's what CFC are going to have to utilise now, hitting her feet and running off her.
Could be an outlet for them. Day looks for Williams. Well rubbed by McLaughlin, finds Thornton. Back to Amy McLaughlin. Finds a look at 1-2 with her sister, but didn't quite work. But Thornton was alive to it. And Amy McLaughlin wins the challenge with Williams, and that's just swept forward by Woodman, and Churchill will see this one out of play. Caitlin Munoz is putting her boots on as well. Maybe we're going to see that change also.
Yeah, she'll be a huge advantage out there. Just having her experience. She'll just sit in the midfield and play quality balls.
Well, they don't always have it their own way, Belconnen, in cup competitions, in grand finals. I remember one against Monero Panthers a few years back where it took until the last couple of minutes of extra time and a couple of Michelle Heyman goals to squeeze them home in that one. And this one's heading towards the same sort of conclusion at the moment.
Yeah,
Nothing
certainly.
in this at all. Now, good layoff by Wallace to Risteska. She'll run forward and try and lay it in. It's bounced off towards Hagan into the penalty area. It's Wallace, but the flag's gone up. for offside. Been a bit more threatening in the last few minutes, Canberra FC.
Yeah, it's really starting to even up again. Thought Belconnen were going to start to get on top there, but CFC have really come out fighting, and they're keeping the ball really well too.
Nice touch from Williams towards Woodman. Now Whittle. A lot of space for Pike if she can find her, and she can. Cross is intercepted. It's back though with Whittle. Running in towards the edge of the penalty area. Still going Whittle. Maguire, she's got the gloves back on. Squeezes it through towards Williams. Goes down under the challenge in the area, and that was a fairly dangerous tackle to be making. Right in front of the referee. Gill picks it up. And FC will start again from the back. Hagen. That temperature's gone down. Maguire's brought the gloves back out. She must be feeling it.
Yeah, you can feel it dropping up here too.
It certainly is. Rusteska, nice touch around the corner. Gill's lacking a bit of pace to get there though. Never been the quickest Grace Gillespie, but she plays the game so well in her head that she sees it so far ahead of everybody else.
That's
Very elegant
exactly
and cultured midfielder.
Yeah. Very composed on the ball too. Yeah, she's quality to watch, Grace.
His day. Looking to get involved further up the park and sending it towards Pike, and Churchill again. Very, very competently sees that one out. It's what you want from a captain though, isn't it? Someone to lead by example, someone to play that kind of game and that role. And she stepped up and everybody else has followed suit.
Yeah, that's it. And she always does, Alice. She's always solid back there. I haven't seen her play a bad game. That's exactly what CFC need from her as a captain.
Jones sends it down the field. It's won by Kutaya. Pike back towards Whittle. And she finds Day. Brown. Rusteska comes across the fresh legs. Here's Pike. No change out of Churchill again. Just the throw in. Whittle beaten to it. She's going to get a second chance though. Prods it into the area towards Jalocka, and it bounced back towards Whittle, and that's some good defending at the back there by McLaughlin as well to win the goal kick. So they brought Williams on. No real change of system though. It will be the same from Belconnen United, you believe, for the last few minutes?
Yeah, certainly, and they'll just keep fighting, and that's what they always do, and that's why they're such a tough team to play against. It'll just take one spark from one of their front three players, and that will be the game changer.
Quarter of an hour to go. No score in the PS4 MPL Women's Grand Final here in Canberra, live on Bar TV Sports. Belconnen United 0, Canberra FC 0. Ball forward is for Rusteska to chase, but Brown, who, as she has done all afternoon, has been solid back there. Here's Raymond. And Hagen, not afraid of a challenge, Krista Hagen.
No, she's certainly not. She's another really good midfielder that they've got in there, CFC. Her and Gracie play really well together and are very composed.
We're going to take this free kick. It'll be Brown to do so. She'll probably launch this one forward. Looking for a blue head if she can find one. Up towards Williams. Didn't get a touch on it, but it's going to fall for Whittle anyway. And she's got in goal side behind Churchill. Whittle's in here. And she's knocked it past the post. It was good defending from Churchill, in fact, with the left snaking out the right foot, I believe it was, and knocking it past the corner just when it looked like Whittle was in again. Yeah,
she's come all the way across from her left side there. Churchill has, and put in that crucial tackle.
They have the Julie Murray medal for man of the match, or say player of the match in the women's grand final, and Alice Churchill will be a good bet right about now.
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
She's put her name in the mix. Can someone grab a winning goal? Can Belconnen get one from this corner? The ball comes in, that's a good headed clearance by Galich, I believe, and it's broken for Gill on the edge of the area. For one so young, Galich is excellent in the air, and she's been fantastic today.
Certainly, she's won 3 corners in a row back there.
When Jones isn't winning it, Galich is. Here's Day. Nice sweet switch to this near side to Raymond, who's come across to the right-hand side for the first time, and she pings that one into the air. It's a good-looking ball as well. Chance perhaps here for Maguire. She's got it under control. Nowhere to go, back to goal. Swings it into the area. It's on the edge of the box. It's going to break here off of Whittle and almost went for Williams, and Jones is there to clear as far as Brown, and the Belconnen fans finding their voice. Here's Pike. The fullbacks have switched. She's across to that far side. Jaloka tried to stab it in towards the penalty area, and she's going to get another opportunity to run at Galich into the box. Still going, but she's overrun it, and it's a goal kick, and we are about to see Caitlin Munoz. I saw her stripped off, ready to go.
Yeah, they've started really working to their strengths, Belco. They're taking on players one-on-one where they've got their speed up the front.
But they still haven't looked like getting past Chantal Jones, have they?
No, haven't found the back of the net yet.
Antti Jagarinic chatting to Caitlin Munoz, experienced Canberra United and Belconnen striker, who can also play in a more withdrawn role. Interesting to see where she comes on. Here's Maguire looking to turn Churchill, who wins another challenge. Absolutely outstanding stuff from Alice Churchill. And here's the change. Munoz is about to come on, and it's Kutaya who comes off, and she's going to get a huge welcome here. Is Caitlin Munoz.
Yeah, they'll be looking at her to create something here.
Not a bad substitute to be able to bring on.
Certainly, yeah, she's a class act, Caitlin Munoz.
With just under 12 minutes to go. Kara Kutaya worked hard today. Put in a good shift, as she normally does. That one's just out of play. Throw in to be taken by Raymond. Gets it back off of Woodman. First touch for Munoz. Already won a grand final medal today in the reserves. Brown loses out there to Hagen. And Pike is there to clear up. It's well run by McLaughlin. This will bounce, and Hayley McLaughlin has to do well to win it, and she does. Maguire finds Raymond. Ball in towards the middle. Here's Williams on the turn. Down goes. It was a chance perhaps on the turn for Whittle, and out comes Jones. And she may have gone down there and made it Angela Gray make a decision.
Yeah, certainly. It was very unintentional, though, from that CFC defender. She just got her leg caught in there. So good call from the ref.
Seen him given, though, and that's a hefty clearance as well. And Rusteska's after this at the other end. She's going to get there as well. Claiming the throw off of Pike, and she's going to get it. 10 minutes to go. No score. Still awaiting the breakthrough in the women's grand final.
Yeah,
Blue Devils and Canberra FC.
Still end-to-end at the moment. Both teams are really creating good chances.
Us players tire, of course, Grace. There'll be more chances, you'd think, opening up at both ends of the field, and we may get that elusive goal.
Certainly, yeah. And I think that will really work to Belco's favour as well, because they've got that individual skill and speed. So I think while the CFC defenders start to tire, the Belco attackers will really step up.
Thornton came back to defend on Raymond, who takes the throw, looking for Williams. Tries to turn McLaughlin. It's broken on the edge of the air, and the shot comes in from Whittle. But down was Jones, and as we've seen all afternoon, it's going to take something a little bit better than that to pierce Chantal Jones's net. What price Chantal Jones taking a penalty and scoring the winner?
Goalkeeper of the game and goal scorer.
Belconnen are the ones on the front foot here, though, with Williams looking to slide the ball through. But that's a good piece of defending again from Galich. She's been outstanding. And very much one for the future. Here's McLaughlin, and very much for the now as well. She's been absolutely brilliant at the back for Canberra FC today, alongside Churchill. Another one that might be in with the shout for the Julie Murray medal.
Yeah, certainly. She's really held her composure back there, especially for a young player. She stepped up into a grand final and played really well.
Raymond off of Munoz, back to Munoz again. Brings something different to this team, this Caitlin Munoz. She brings exactly what I guess Grace Gill brings to the Canberra FC team. Composure on the ball, experience, and very much a lot of nous of these big occasions.
Certainly. They'll just look to hit her feet and get her playing balls out wide to the quick attackers.
It's Jaloka to Woodman. And she's been picked off there by Hagen. Gill wants it, and Gill gets it. Sends it forwards. Rusteska's after this, and Day has to be quick and gets it back towards Manenica, who just sends it forwards up towards halfway. Gill wins it again. Hagen once more. Now McLaughlin having the better of that midfield duel in the last 5 minutes. The trio from Canberra FC. Day at the back. And well played Munoz. Risteska looks like she's got a lot of pace, though, and if they can isolate the Belconnen defence, she might be able to get in. Mickey Day, though, no slouch.
Yes, certainly. And Thornton out on this wing, too. They need to utilise her.
She's looking for the free kick off of Raymond, doesn't get it, but does win a throw for her team. Bit of noise from the Belconnen fans as Churchill takes a throw. Wallace. McLaughlin finds Churchill, then Amy McLaughlin. Hagen is shoved over in the back by Caitlin Munoz. Caitlin Munoz claiming that she's run in front of her and she couldn't go anywhere, but I think you definitely shoved her there, Caitlin.
Yeah, I think she did too, hands in the back there. She's a very strong player, Caitlin Munoz, though, so players do go down around her.
Bit of a size mismatch between Munoz and Hagen.
Certainly.
Free kick then to Canberra, and Galich will look to send this one into the danger area. Can they get on the end of this? Can they give themselves something to hang on to for the last 10 minutes or so? That's a great looking ball. The header comes in. That was a lovely little glancing header from Wallace as well, but Menenica was alert and she had to be to catch it. And now off we go up the other end. Raymond's chance to perhaps take a break on whilst Canberra FC get back to cover, but Williams can't get it under control. And Whittle is in there, but the momentum's lost a little bit. Jaloka looks to make it go forward again. Williams is getting in as well. It's broken for Whittle. Back to Jaloka. Now Munoz. Overlapping run from Pike, and there's no red shirts back there to cover this one. Can she deliver? Ball towards the near post, and that's out of play, and it's going to be a corner. Took a deflection. Chances at both ends. A good header from Wallace as well. Good improvisation.
Certainly. CFC has really started to step up again and they're creating really good opportunities. Belco will be looking to keep this away from Chantel and try and hit the top of the box again. 6
minutes to go. Any goal now you'd think would be crucial and could be the winner. Here's the corner from Belconnen, swept to the near post, and that's going to go out of play. In fact, it must have just been cleared off the line, and it's back out towards the edge area. Catherine Brown, she can hit it from here. Well charged down by Hagen.
Yeah,
clips it away.
She's dangerous on the top of the box there, Brownie. She's got a very strong shot when she puts that left boot through it.
Thought she might try that first time rather than take a touch. Taking the touch allowed Hagen to get the block on. Here's Day. Looking to spark something in attack. Williams brings it down nicely. Woodman's there. Clips that one towards the far post, which Whittle will chase, but Jones has watched that all the way out. And a little clash between the two. Maddie Whittle not overly impressed by Chantal Jones. Almost took out the photographer Lawrence Atkin behind the goal there. So 5 minutes to go. Are we going to get a winner or are we going extra time?
Looks like extra time at this stage. Both teams are on fire and both are fighting really hard, so could come down to extra time, I think.
And then, of course, if we need it, penalties. Jones sends that one forward and Munoz sends it back. One in the air by McLaughlin, who goes forward towards Hagen. Gill. Rusteska. Infield to Hagen again. All a bit crowded and cramped though. Good energy by both teams, so nobody's allowing the opposition to really settle into any pattern of play.
Yeah, that's it. The two midfields have been a really tight contest today.
Lovely turn by Wallace. Now Rusteska's got away with good pace here, but she's overrun it a little bit, and defensively Day was sound. Here's Jaloka hugging the touchline, looking for somewhere to go. It's giving it away. And FC comes straight back, but that one's over hit. And Brown will look to start something on this side with a raking ball towards Maguire. She got time to take on Churchill here. Cuts inside, still going Maguire. Past the second one. Can she get the shot away or has she overrun it? She's still going. Across the edge of the penalty area, in towards Whittle, who can't turn. It's going to fall for Williams here. Great save by Jones with her outstretched left leg. That was almost the moment. Williams thought she'd scored. She stabbed it goalwards, and it looked like it was in, but Jones stuck out the leg and keeps it all square.
Yeah, she's incredible back there, Chantel, just getting her left boot on that.
Unbelievable save, that one. Looked like, to all intents and purposes, like that was the goal. Williams very sharply, like she was in the reserve grade, to score her goal, which was a similar finish. A little stab underneath the goalkeeper. On this occasion, though, Chantal Jones sticks the leg out and denies her.
Yeah, Chantel's just been the difference in this game. Any other game, those little pokes would often go in, but she's really held the fort back there.
There was a lot of conjecture before kickoff of what Mark Rostesky would do with Chantal Jones. I think most people thought that he would start with her in goal for this exact reason, that it's easier to chase a 1 goal than it is 2 or 3.
Yeah, certainly. She's also really valuable in the midfield, so it would have been a tough decision for him. She has a lot of composure and she plays really well with grace.
And a hell of a shot as well. 19 goals
shot
this season. Here's Maguire looking to take on Churchill again, and Alice Churchill, absolutely brilliant. Wins the goal kick again. Not sure whether she got a touch on that, but either way, she's been great today.
Yeah, she's been incredible. She's won everything.
2 minutes plus stoppage time, and then we're off to 15 minutes of extra time each way and a penalty shootout, and could be a long night then.
It certainly could. Starting to get cooler.
It is getting a bit colder. It must be getting cold after Palumbi's put her jacket on. She didn't have it on in the first half when she was commentating. That one's straight out of play. Have Belconnen got something in them? They've often won games late on in the past. Going to see a change from Canberra East shortly. Millie Mallinson, a defender, is going to come on. Here's Brown. Well read by Churchill again. Thornton was involved, and it's come from McLaughlin. Back to Churchill. Sends this one down the line, and we're going to see a change then. We're going to have a substitution. Millie Mallinson, I think this is, who's coming on. She's been injured for the majority of the season, made a return to reserve grade a few weeks back. Comes onto the field for Bridget Wright, who did a great job, and remember in that first half, her challenge was the one on Callaghan that stopped what would have almost been a certain goal.
Yeah, she had a great game today. She really nullified their speed up front. Definitely did her job today.
Well, Millie Mallinson goes into that role for the last couple of minutes and possibly extra time. Here's Munoz. Raymond. Maguire. Raymond again. Edge of the box. Williams looks to turn. Does well. Chance for Woodman perhaps, and she hasn't caught that one, and Jones sees that one all the way and keeps it in play. So 3 changes already for Canberra FC, and we've seen the 2 for Belconnen. Jones sends that one forward. We're into stoppage time. Brown's clearance comes off the side of the foot and is going to break for Mallinson, her first touch of the final. She's got a bit of room in which to manoeuvre as well. Sends it into the middle of the park, but only as far as Munoz. Jaloka has it in midfield. And she's robbed, but gets it back again. And then sends it forwards, and it's helped on by Williams, but there's no one behind her. Would have been a good flick on if someone had run, and Jones is happy to take her time. Clock is ticking. And it looks like we're going to be here for an extra half an hour. Jones sends it up forward, and Brown sends it back straight away, and Churchill's back defending as she's done really well for most of the game, and it's going to be a corner though, is it? No, it's a goal kick. Disappointment of the Belconnen fans there, who thought there was probably a corner.
Yeah, another good win by Churchill back there.
As much as all the good football we've seen and all the energy of that, where's the goal going to come from, Grace? Or are we resigned to the fact it's going to finish 0-0? Because it doesn't seem that Belconnen can get past Jones, and it doesn't seem that Canberra have enough creativity to create a chance that's going to cause Manenica any issues.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think Belconnen are going to have to get their goal from someone's individual talent. They've got so much out there and they've got so much speed, so they'll just be looking for one of their strikers to take players on one-on-one. And CFC are going to have to utilise their wide players and try and create a goal that way.
Well, here's Woodman looking to get the ball into the area. Churchill's come across and Woodman bounced off her shin, and it's got a corner this time though. Maybe the last chance in normal time. Opportunity to swing this one into the penalty area. Williams is going to take in towards the penalty spot. There's the header, it's deflected and it's off the line. Back to Williams. twisting and turning into the area, and Hagen gets rid of it, and that was half a chance as well. And when Jones was beaten defensively, there was someone on the line to get rid of it. Thornton with Munoz.
That's what she does so well, Caitlin. Just composed, keeps the ball at her feet and plays it out to one of her players through the back.
Yeah, Pike found Brown, and now there's space in the middle of the park for Day. That one's forward and it's touched on, and here's a chance for Woodman in on goal again. Woodman, and it's saved again by Jones, diving to her right, and she has been the difference between these two teams, because Woodman was in again, and another good shot and another good save.
An absolutely incredible save there, and yeah, credit to Katie, it was a great shot. Chantel's just a class act.
And that was the last chance of the game, and it's finished 0-0, and Chantal Jones has certainly been the difference between the two sides. It's been incredible the amount of times she's stood up, and that decision to put her in goal has certainly paid dividends.
Yeah, that's definitely been a game changer for them.
The thing is, as well, with the experience over Menenike, if it got as far as penalties, you have to say Canberra FC would suddenly be favourites.
That's it. If they can hold it out for the next half an hour, you definitely think that they'll come out with the win.
So we're going to extra time. What's your thoughts? Where's this one going?
Look, I think Belco have really stepped up in this second half. They're really bringing it to them. So it'll just be a matter of whether CFC can hold it and try and create something on the break. But at this stage, I can't call it. It's a really close match.
It is really difficult to call. I'm looking at the options that they've got left on the bench. It looks like all three have been made from both teams, haven't they? Because Woodman, Munoz and Williams are on, and Canberra have done the same. Tiredness may play a part as well, experience. Both sides look fairly evenly matched in that respect as well, though.
Yeah, certainly. They've both got experienced heads in midfield, with Munoz for Belco and Grace Gill for Canberra FC. So it will come down to fitness. Belco have gotten us in the last few minutes multiple times, so they can create that last-minute spark.
They certainly looked the more likely in that second period, didn't they, for long parts to get that goal. It didn't come, and we keep mentioning it, but it's all down to one person, really, and that's Chantal Jones's brilliance in goal, and we're not surprised, are we? Because we know how good she is.
Yeah, certainly. She's amazing out there, and she's just such a leader at the back too. Even when she's in the midfield, she completely controls that too. So you can see her out there now, just really revving up her team.
Taking a drink of water. Referee's getting a bit of refreshment as well. Some of the crowd deciding to take advantage of the pies and chips behind us. Smell wafting across McKellar Park.
It's a great crowd today too. Big numbers and perfect day for it.
It's been really good. Well, going to wait till the extra time about to start. The referee's about to have a chat. Going to carry on, Grace, or you're going to sub in for Ash? Angelo Constantinou joined us in the commentary box, briefly standing at the back here. He was in goal last night in the NPL final series, representing Capital Football, looking very dapper in his tie today, isn't he?
Very dapper.
Former the Futsalroos international goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Ash is happy to step up here, so...
Ash is going to come back in for the first half of extra time.
Hello.
Mixing it up. Ash, what was your take on that second half? It was pretty much Belconnen in the ascendancy, but they can't find a way past his defence and goalkeeper.
Yeah, as expected, it definitely opened up, and Belconnen just proved their quality, just kept on pushing forward and created all those chances. But with a quality goalkeeper like Chantal in goals, it's going to take something pretty special, as we just saw. So, if that at all. So, yeah, it was a good half, and it's been a good match so far. But 0-0 into extra time, and here we go.
Putting you on the spot, you say it's going to take someone to create a bit of magic to break this one open. Who do you think it could be?
I've still got my money on Maddie Whittle. I think that she's got the pace, and she's been clinical enough this year to do that. I think that if there will be a goal in this game, it'll probably come from her. But other than that, I think we might see ourselves in some penalties.
She threatened, didn't she, a couple of times? Remember when we were on here in the first half, she had that opportunity, which 99 times out of 100 this season is in the back of the net, denied by Jones. So you mentioned it, and Grace mentioned it as well. They look, the best way of getting past Jones is to actually that little drawback, draw out of position, cut it back and get someone to tap it in the net. Sort of like, as Angela mentioned here, the futsal goalkeeper. It's sort of like something that we do in futsal to draw the keeper out and try and score.
That's exactly right, and that's what it'll need to be, because as you've seen with shots on goal, they're just not going to beat Chantel like that. It'd take something pretty amazing. So it's going to have to be that, take it to the byline, cut it back, and then it's just a matter of numbers and who's got the most numbers in desperation and is willing to scramble.
Well, 50 minutes each way. At this stage, of course, any sort of error that's punished is going to prove to be crucial.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Canberra FC's Marcia Wallace, who went close with a header in the second half. A really good back header that Menenica was alert to catch to get us back underway.
Yeah.
15 minutes of this first half to go. Here's Pike, looking to find the runners ahead. It was Maguire. Good movement from the front three. It's still going. Maguire and Williams has joined that trio now.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Callaghan came off, or do you think she was a bit tired?
I was surprised, to be honest with you. I think that Callaghan is absolutely one of Belconnen's best players and has been throughout the entire year. I think that her strength and physical presence is something that teams worry about. So I was surprised, but having Jessie Williams to come on is no slouch. So
and her pace on the break as well at this stage may have been crucial.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, Jessie's a great player and she's a big game player. So we'll see what happens.
Churchill looks for Wallace. Goes into the challenge with Day, and that's a very physical contest, and Day's come away the winner.
Yeah.
Whittle, nice turn. Williams, Munoz with her, goes back towards Whittle, but that's good tracking back by Mallinson.
Yeah, perhaps the wrong way there. Had a bit of space with Munoz tracking down on the left there.
Thornton on the far side. Passes picked off by Day. Williams, great turn, got away from her marker. Williams going past another one, and she's still up towards the edge of the area. Williams into the box, trying to get it shot away, but it's run away from her, looking for support. It's come in the shape of Raymond. Now Munoz swings the boot at it, but Jones has got that one coming all covered all day. She's seen that before.
That's just not going to work against Jones, so they're going to have to try something different.
Pumps it up towards Wallace, who I was mentioning plays so well with her back to goal.
Yeah.
We need to get some support a bit closer to her, though.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier in the first half, as a striker, you can tend to get a bit frustrated there if you're the one that's doing a lot of the work and holding up the ball and just don't have that support running through. It's to no discredit of the midfielders. They're working really hard there, and sometimes it is hard to push up, but it'd be really good for CFC to get some support for her.
Thornton loses out, but she's helped out by McLaughlin, who's been a terrier in the middle of the park. Day, now Pike, good turn in a tight space, and Williams can open it up a little bit, and Woodman can bring it forward, and here comes Raymond from fullback, still full of running. Didn't really look where she was passing that, but it's come nicely for Whittle. Galich is in there and very strong to push her off the ball, and Gill helps it on its way, but that's just giving possession straight back to Belconnen.
Yeah.
And Brown gives it straight back to Canberra FC.
Probably best getting that under control there and then being able to play out rather now than being potentially boxed in from a throw-in.
Well, Mallinson will take it. Came on in the last minute of the second half. Here's Woodman. Back to Munoz. Now Brown. Raymond. Woodman. Well, that came off of Krista Hagen's arm. And she's going to get a card for this one, is she? Yes, she is.
Oh.
I think that's probably because she's had 3 or 4 incidents now. A bit unfortunate, and Anthony Jagarinic wanted the advantage, and so did Belconnen, I think.
Yeah.
But they've got the free kick, and Catherine Brown has a left foot that we talked about a lot today, and she can definitely drop this one in there, and this could be an opportunity.
Absolutely. Watch out for Munoz in the air here. She's got a knack for it, and no doubt Brownie will find her.
Let's see what Brown can do. Can she find a blue head? Will this be the pivotal moment of the match? Catherine Brown, 7 blue shirts in and around the area. Drops that one towards a penalty spot. There's the header, but it's going to drop on the edge of the box for Maguire. Couldn't get a shot away, which was hustled very quickly. Here's Pike. Steps away from Thornton. Sends it into the middle. Here's Munoz helping it on towards goal, but didn't get enough on it.
Not quite.
And as we've said all day, Jones was there just to snaffle it, calm her team down, and then send the ball high into the night sky, looking for Wallace. Brown
and you can see
back.
CFC are just trying to play for field position here. They're just trying to, once they get the ball, they try to hoik it up the field and then put the pressure on Belconnen to then play out.
Here's Woodman, gives it away to Risteska, and she gives it straight away to Mickey Day. Knocks it forward. I was talking to Gracefield shortly before you came on, and we were talking if he gets the penalties. With Chantal Jones in goal, do they suddenly become favourites in your eyes as well, Canberra FC?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the proof is in the pudding with what she's done tonight out on the field. I think that she's a class act. She came to Canberra as a goalkeeper from the US, and that was her plying her trade, and now she's here doing it again. And I think that if it got to penalties, that would be the difference.
Can imagine a Munoz Jones duel to win it from the spot.
Be something else.
Let's see if we get there. Maguire puts it into the penalty area. We still got to get there, of course. We've got 10 minutes left of this half and another 15 minutes after that.
Yeah.
Still time for a goal or two.
Plenty of time, and especially the game will just continue to keep opening up. And Belconnen are renowned as one of the fittest teams in the league, if not the fittest team in the league. So CFC will have to be really, really careful of that. Doesn't matter how good Jones is playing. They're going to have to make sure that they're keeping them out of those goal-scoring positions.
Thornton to Risteska, tries to get it back and got lucky with the bounce, but she's made her own luck. She can't get away from Day, who finds Pike. Plays it forward. Maguire. Back to Day. A bit more freedom for Day. Maguire again, quite deep this time. Now Williams. This is promising. Woodman's got a break here on the near side. If she can keep this in, there's a chance, but it's just going to run away from her. And Ash, at this stage, as we've come to, towards midway through the first half of extra time, and how important is it for a side to have been in this position before, like Belconnen, and have won so many trophies here? And does that play on your mind as a player for Canberra FC?
I think that it does, but I also think that a grand final, like you mentioned earlier in the game, a grand final is a totally different day. It's a totally different feeling. You have to be mentally prepared. You have to be physically prepared, and I think that having the experience is always good, but you just never know which way the ball's going to bounce on grand final day, and so it's one and the same, I think.
Mallinson just launches this one down the line and gains a few metres.
She's got a good throw, nice and powerful.
Yeah, it was very powerful, wasn't it? She can throw this one on a fairly flat trajectory into the penalty area. They could get something out of it.
Yeah, get some numbers in there.
Well, she's going to go down the line here towards Wallace. Brown's there again, and they've created another 10 or 15 metres. She's gone from halfway to right down in the corner.
Yeah, should be stacking some numbers in the box here.
And I'm sure this throw is going to go right into that area that we talked about. Risteska's at the near post. Wallace is just in front of her, maybe looking for a flick on. No one on the goalkeeper there. Here is Mallinson, and it's a decent one looking for Wallace. Went over her head though, and Brown was there. Sends it forward. Galich lets that one bounce off her chest, and it's out for a throw. Raymond looking to get on with it. Williams. Here's McLaughlin. Done well today, Hayley McLaughlin, in the middle of the park.
She has. Another player that's really, really stepped up over the last couple of years. She's come into her own, and playing in a good side like CFC has allowed her to do that.
Here's Williams. Will she get the shot away? She does. Looks for the chip. Oh, it's an absolute cracker from Jessie Williams. We said we needed a piece of magic, and Jessie Williams has supplied it midway through the first half of extra time. Just when her team needed something special, she came up with it. A lob of absolute exquisite beauty. And finally, Chantal Jones is beaten. It's Belconnen 1, Canberra FC 0.
She has, yeah. That is an unbelievable shot and exactly what Belconnen needed. Let's see what happens here. It'll be very, very interesting to see if CFC changes what they do or continues as they are.
We mentioned Williams' ability to score goals, and what a time to get one.
Yeah, she seems to be just that big game player. She steps up when her team needs her to. She's come on and done a job, and she's done it to us a couple of times in the past, and today she's done it again.
Saw Jones off her line and executed the perfect lob.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
And they finally have their breakthrough. And they're off after it again, Williams. She scored a couple of goals in the Fed Cup final here. She scored a goal in the under-20, in the reserve grade, rather, grand final as well. Now she's got one in the first grade grand final.
Huge, absolutely huge.
Big, big moment in the game. Here's Maguire looking to add to it. It's a chance briefly on the edge of the penalty area. I think it was Whittle who got it with a back to goal.
Just needed some more runners coming off her.
Here's Raymonds. Ooh. Caught by Hagen, but it was all ball first. Just got her on the follow through, I think. Munoz.
Shouts for handball.
Robbed by Hagen. And Brown just thumps that one into the stands.
This is where I think CFC have to now just throw some players forward. They have to really, really get the numbers going forward. They can't play that defensive game anymore.
Madison tried to help that by sending that long throw of hers down the line, and Belconnen United have the goal. Angela Gray is having a word with Anthony Jegarink, who's not happy. He was looking for the free kick for a foul on Ellie Raymonds, who was struggling. I think in Hagen's defence, she got the ball first.
Yeah.
And maybe just caught her on the follow-through.
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations where, unfortunately, you just fall a bit awkwardly, and it makes it look a little bit worse than what it is. Good to see Ellie back up and running.
Gill. Here's Raymonds. Woodman finds Munoz. Finds Day. They've defended resolutely, Canberra. See, have they got something in attack to be able to get themselves back into this one? Here's Pike. Belco looking to add to that goal. Scored by Jessie Williams in the 99th minute.
Yeah.
Ball in. It's going to go out for a goal kick. Jones has been impervious all afternoon, and she just could not get her back to that one, could she? She was struggling as soon as it came off the foot of Williams.
And that's the risk, I guess. I'm no goalkeeper, but that's the risk with playing as a sweeping kind of in a sweeping role, is that you are off your line a little bit, but really you can't take anything away from the strike, and you also can't take anything away from Jones in how amazingly she's played all game.
I was going to say, she wasn't that far off her line, was she? In terms of positioning, was spot on.
Yeah,
exactly where she needed to be, but it was just the sheer quality of the execution from Jessie Williams.
More. Yeah.
Let's change the difference, and we said we'd rather a piece of magic than an error, and we've certainly got that.
Yeah.
Now then, have FC got something in response? Here's Hagen, looking for one from distance, but she's not got enough on that, and it'll be out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
3 minutes to the end of stoppage time, to the end of the first period of extra time. Belconnen United leads here in the PS4 MPL Women's Grand Final live on Bar TV Sports. 1-0. That goal from Williams. The difference. Raymonds forward. Mallinson gets a foot in.
Just got to
Falls for
carry.
Galich. There's one back by Jaloka though, and Woodman goes back to Brown. And that's a chase for Whittle. Put everything on the line today, Maddie Whittle. She's ran hard.
Ran hard. Her fitness is something else. She can just
Madison
run for days.
Here's Wallace. Well, she doesn't have to go quite that long, only another 18 minutes or so.
Yeah.
She probably could run for days though.
She could.
Here she is again. Bit of space for her in turning well. There's Williams. Now Jaloka. Maguire. Good piece of defending from Alice Churchill.
Yeah.
There's one Canberra FC player, apart from Jones, that doesn't deserve to be on the losing side. It's probably Alice Churchill.
No, absolutely. She's been outstanding today, and we said that from the get-go. She's a real leader for her side, and she's done really, really well tonight. Just shut out all the chances that have come down that side.
Here they come again, though. Here's Whittle. Looking to turn. Whittle in here. Real chance to seal it. Jones, as ever, makes a fantastic stop. It's fallen for Munoz on the edge of the area. Can she get a shot away? She can't. And McLaughlin forces it wide. Only as far as Maguire, though. And Churchill's in front of her and should see this one out. And another outstanding stop from Chantel Jones when Whittle looks certain to score.
Yeah, and like I said, every day I'd put money on Maddie Whittle scoring that goal there, and Jones is there to stop it. So she's been outstanding.
Striker did everything right. Sharp turn, good touch to open it up, and then slid it towards the far corner. And Jones doing what Jones does and making a super stop. Here's Williams looking to challenge. This could be dangerous if she can get a toe on this. Williams again in the area, shoots, and that one flashes wide a goal. And Jones had that one covered.
Yeah.
Minute left of this first half of extra time.
CFC just need to keep pushing. They just can't get disheartened in this situation. They just need to keep streaming numbers forward and putting the pressure on.
Hagen challenged by Munoz in the middle of the park. It's fallen for Whittle. Raymond picks up the pieces. Looks for Williams. Back to Raymond. Good challenge by Risteska. Ellie Raymond's a willing runner as well. She's been up and down this flank all afternoon.
Yep.
Good throw as well to find Williams in a pocket of space. Back to Munoz.
I think it's been a big difference since Munoz came on in that she's just controlled.
Sorry, Pike sends it in. Here's Williams again, and that was almost two. It's come off the top of the crossbar. She got away from her marker. What a ball in from Bronte Pike, and Williams got in and towed it away, and Jones was beaten all ends up, and it's hit the top of the bar.
Yeah.
That could have sealed it.
Absolutely, and again, I think that comes down to Munoz's ball out to the side there, just seeing the space and just using that experienced head just to lead her team around the park.
Certainly made a big difference since she's come on. As you'd expect from a player of such experience and such standing, Matilda's international. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time. FC go quickly with a throw. Thornton is brought down, gets a free kick. Last chance perhaps for them. And an opportunity to drop this one in. And this is a good position if you can whip this into the area.
Absolutely. I'd nearly be inclined to send Chantel up there and get her head there.
I wonder if we'll see her go up front and maybe Churchill go in nets.
I think, yeah, actually that's an interesting call. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, let's see what they do with this free kick first. Gill's behind it, swings it in, and Manenica has to jump and collect. And that's half-time of extra time. 1-0, the goal from Williams. We waited a long time for it, 99 minutes, but when it came, it was worth it.
Absolutely. It was a stunner of a goal, and that was what was going to need to happen to make the difference in this game. So probably, you know, could you even say deserved to Belconnen? They've had the ascendancy in the game, so they probably deserve that 1-0 lead.
You say on the basis of quality chances created that they have been the better side and they probably deserve it.
That's exactly it. So they've
That's
had the
taking
possession.
nothing away from FC.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this last 15.
Well, I would be interested to see whether Jones does make an appearance further up the park with her 19 goals this season, and you may as well at some stage, if you want to make that change, because it's going to make no difference.
I'd be very inclined to do it, because if you lose 1-0 or if you lose 3-0, there is no difference. So at the end of the day, you're not the one with that championship trophy, and I think that her potency up front has been such a huge sticking point for CFC this year.
Well, we'll see if that happens. They've got 15 minutes to get their way back into this game. Mickey Day wins a cheap free kick off Gabby Risteska. Little niggle at the back of the heels of the central defender. And Day will take the free kick. And she's underhit that one for a bit, but it found its way to Raymond anyway. Back to Brown. Stabs it forward, and Gill intercepts it. Looking to find a runner. Only as far as Brown again. Now Maguire. She's got room to turn. And perhaps run at the FC defence and slide it in towards Whittle. It's come for Williams. Now Whittle, and there's Churchill again. Out towards Thornton. Looked to find a return pass to McLaughlin in the middle of the park, but Woodman was there. And Belco don't need to chase that second goal now. They've got what they needed. So they've given it away, though. Here's the 3 red shirts and a chance for Thornton to find Risteska. Takes it into her stride. Can she get something away here? Back towards Thornton in the penalty area. Under pressure from Day. Can Thornton get the shot away? She can, but it's blocked by Day. And that was a warning for Canberra, for Belconnen not to get too lackadaisical in possession.
That's exactly it. It's nice to see that we're going to have a good competition on our hands for the last 15 minutes of the game. I don't think anyone's lying down. So,
well, Jones is coming all the way up to the halfway line. She's sending everybody forward. Galich and Mallinson are going there as well. Jones is some 40 yards from her goal.
I'd send her up there into the goal square for this.
Churchill's coming back. It's 2 on 3, and this Maddie Whittle is completely unmarked on the halfway line here near us. If they could get the ball away here quickly, Belco. They have to defend this corner first, though.
That's it.
Hagen's going to take it. Can she find a red head? Can Canberra FC find a way back into this final? Drops it into the air, and it's half clear, but only as far as McLaughlin. Shooting chance, perhaps. Gets the shot away, and it's a good defensive clearance by Day, I think that was, who got her head in. Now here's that break we were talking about. Here's Williams. Whittle one side,
she's got to give.
Maguire the other. She goes to Maguire, but it's slightly behind her. Still going, Maguire, though. Looking to force it through to Whittle. The flag stays down. Madeline Whittle pings it into the box, and it's cleared by Hagen. And out for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think if she releases Whittle down the right wing there, that's a bit of a different story.
We're going to see Jordan Buchanan for Belconnen United. She went off in the reserve grade final with a ball to the jaw, which was quite nasty. There was a fair bit of blood, I think, coming out of her nose at the time.
Yeah.
And it's Nicole Jolok who comes off, and that's a bit of a defensive change, but Jolok has worked really hard.
Definitely.
Well, Buchanan's first job will be to drop into events.
It's a nice luxury when you've got that depth on your bench, just to be able to roll through players like that.
Here's Williams. Nice turn, but robbed by Amy McLaughlin. And away the ball was given today. Now Munoz. Brown. Maguire. Nice idea. Execution wasn't quite there, though, and Mallinson is back to cover. Still plenty of time left in this second half of extra time. It's Maguire running towards the edge of the FC box, finds Williams in space in the middle. Can she get the shot off? She can't. Keeps possession, though, goes back to Woodman, who tries her luck and didn't quite get over the ball.
Yeah. This is where you hope that CFC just keeps that intensity up, gets the ball in play quickly, and continues to press forward and create opportunities like they just did. They've proven they can do it.
Jones sends it forward. Day sends it back. Here's Whittle. Churchill sees her off. Sends it up the line and volleyed straight back by Pike. And out for a throw. Sense of urgency for Canberra FC.
Yeah.
11 minutes to go. 1-0 down to a piece of quality from Jessie Williams in the 99th minute. Up towards Thornton. Buchanan was there with her, and Brown seated out of play. To throw to Belconnen, which Pike will take. Woodman beaten in the air. Thornton. Woodman gets it back there. Tries to play it off of Hagan, and that's unfortunate for the midfielder, but it's a Blue Devils throw again. Williams, lovely touch towards Woodman, and Hagan's back to tackle and wins a free kick. Chance for Canberra FC to send some bodies forward again.
This last 10 minutes is really important for Grace Gill to step up and show her experience and leadership. She's a game changer and has potential to be, so hopefully she can show a masterstroke today.
Here she is on the ball. Finds Churchill with a nice pass. Goes forward, Churchill, still going. Runs into Mickey Day, though, who's been outstanding at the back for Belconnen since she's been put into that position, and she's sent Williams on her way. Running in midfield, finds Munoz. This is dangerous. Williams has gone for the return. Here's a real chance for Maguire. This could seal it. Can Jasmine Maguire get the shot away? Yes, she can, but of course, Chantal Jones is there again.
Right place, right time. She knows exactly where to be, Chantal Jones does, so amazing again.
Maguire must have thought she'd scored as soon as it left her foot, and Jones spreads herself and saves again. Talking about Julie Murray medal winners, she's got to be up there, hasn't she?
She's got to be. For me, it's her or Alice Churchill.
And it's not often players from the losing side get it, is it? And you'd be surprised, though. Why not? They've both been absolutely outstanding in the defensive effort from Canberra FC today.
Absolutely.
Interesting to see who the official vote goes to. I'm sure there won't be much consolation to Chantal Jones, though, or Alice Churchill if they won that.
No.
And we're on the end of a 1-0 defeat or worse.
They're both fierce competitors, so I think that if they were to walk away with a loss from this game, they'd be really disappointed.
Here's Galich. She's also been in the running as well. I think everybody in a red shirt defensively has been outstanding.
Yeah. And take nothing away from Belconnen, but I think that for Belconnen the key is that they're a class team. And that's what they always have been. For the last 5 years, they've just got quality across the park. And that's why they put themselves in this position time and time again.
You called it in the first half, the X factor off the bench as well, with the likes of Williams and Buchanan, who's come on as well, and Munoz.
Yeah.
They're all quality players and will walk into any other starting team pretty much in the competition.
Yeah, and throughout the year they have been in these starting lineups for Belconnen, so they've got that experience.
Here's Churchill. Good strong run. Still going Churchill, and Buchanan had to win it. Good piece of defensive work by the substitute.
Good to see Alice getting forward a little bit now, using her strength.
McLaughlin opens play up to Gill. Takes on Munoz. Overdid it a little bit there, and Munoz wins it. Now here's Raymonds. We know she'll run all night. punted that one down the line, looking for someone to run for it, but no one did. 8 minutes of the second period of extra time gone. 1-0 if you just joined us. A beautiful goal from Jessie Williams 9 minutes into the first period of extra time. Live on Bar TV Sports has Belconnen United leading the PS4 MPL Women's Grand Final by a 1-0. But it's not all over yet, and there's signs that Canberra FC may have something up their sleeve for the last few minutes. Here's Risteska. She's worked really hard since she's come on as well. And
yeah,
looks
she
handful.
has. Nice and speedy.
A good pace. If they can get her into some channels and get some support up there, they could have a chance here.
Absolutely.
Here's Mallinson, who's impressed with her throwing ability and her work rate as well.
Yeah.
So they've had some good substitutions too, Canberra FC. Their squad's building quite nicely under Mark Risteski.
Yeah. 7 minutes left. They just got to keep pushing forward here. They've got nothing to lose.
Will we see Jones in a forward position at some stage? Will she go up for a corner?
Yeah, I don't think that they'll make the goalkeeper switch, as in putting Alice in exchange for Chantel. But what I do think is if they've got any set plays up there in the last 5 minutes in particular, I think they'd be silly not to.
Well, out of your picture, she's champing at the bit, isn't she? She's about 40 metres out of her goal again. And
exactly.
She really wants to get involved at the other end.
Exactly.
This is going to fall for Churchill. Now McLaughlin. Williams puts the pressure on. Thornton into midfield, but Munoz wins it. Pike brings it away. Williams will chase. Gets a touch there ahead of Amy McLaughlin, and now here's an opportunity, but the pass in field is read by Gallet. She's been great back there, and she's going to have to do some more defending again here as Williams has the ball back for Belconnen. But she gives it away to Gill, and that's a tired pass from Gill, but it's found its way to Thornton. Now McLaughlin finds Thornton again. Risteska.
Probably
looking
just
to get on the end of it.
Down. Just keep it nice and settled.
She's got it. Good defending by Buchanan, though. They got high hopes for Jordan Buchanan here as well, Ash.
Yeah. I think that she's done really well coming on in that role, so it'll be important in the next 5 minutes that she continues that.
Thornton won the header, but it's out of play for a throw. 5 minutes to go. Belconnen United lead 1-0. Is that moment of magic from Jessie Williams going to prove the difference between the sides? They will take the throw. Have Canberra FC got something left to offer in this grand final, which has been on a knife edge since the very first whistle? Gill looks for Thornton, but Pike, who's performed strongly at fullback. Anywhere will do.
Chantel wants to run out there and collect that.
She's going to get it to her feet now from McLaughlin and looks to send it forwards.
Send it forward.
Day's read that though and positioned herself superbly, but the header's going to drop for Hagen. Now McLaughlin back to Hagen. Looks for the run of Mallinson, who gets there ahead of Raymond, but Raymond won it back. Maguire.
You can definitely see CFC are tiring.
They've given everything, haven't they? And
yeah.
if they do come out on the wrong end of the scoreline, at least they can look themselves in the mirror tomorrow morning and say they gave 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And left everything out there, and Belconnen United have certainly had to work hard to win this one, if that is indeed to be the outcome.
Yeah. Both teams should be very happy with their performance tonight. It's been a good one to watch.
But only one team can win, and at the moment it's the ones in blue, courtesy of a goal from this lady, Williams. Finds Woodman. Nice drop of the shoulder to create some space. Can she get a shot off? Tried to thread it through instead, and FC need to defend, and they concede the throw, and that's where Belconnen want the ball.
Absolutely. Belconnen will just keep trying to just push that ball forward, but keep everything nice and composed. You can see that they're not necessarily going for a goal at the moment. They're just trying to keep possession of that ball.
They don't need one, because they've got the crucial one. Here's Williams. Turning on the edge of the box, looking to get the shot away again, Williams, but this time Jones was aware.
Yeah.
She rushes forward to send it up the field and launches one as we've seen before, and this one's going to be dangerous. Thornton could get there. Gets a little touch into Risteski, who tries to get the shot away, and that's a good challenge by Brown. It was all ball.
It's a very good
despite
tackle.
The protestations.
Very, very good tackle.
When you need your big players to step up, she did there with that tackle, Ash.
Absolutely. That was an amazing tackle, and that's why she's there.
Here's Churchill. Start again, though. Giving it away. Woodman volleys it in the air. Gill. It's picked up by Munoz. Now Day. Clips it down the line. Churchill wins it. Hagen has it. 2.5 minutes to go. McLaughlin. They need the ball at the other end. And fast. Thornton finds McLaughlin. Hagen in midfield. Mallinson outside, but that's asking an awful lot. And Raymond got it, and away comes Maguire. She'll bring it forward and look for the run of Whittle, but Churchill, as she has done for most of the game, is there.
It's there.
Gill. Hagen up towards Risteski, and she's after it again, and Thornton's there as well, and Pike has to clear, and this is an opportunity perhaps. 2 minutes to go. Throw in.
CFC
Mallinson
has a good chance here.
I'm surprised they've not sent Mallinson across to take this one. Churchill's going to take it. Finds Gill. Thornton's there as well.
Need to get a ball in the middle there.
It's come in from Churchill. It's going to fall for Gill on the edge of the penalty area. Shooting chance for Grace Gill. What an effort that is! Maddie and Enika can't hit it. It's in this time. It's an equaliser. It's 1-1. Oh, I think it's Grace Gill's goal.
Unbelievable.
Manenica couldn't hold it. It was such a fierce strike from Grace Gill.
Unbelievable.
It came out of the hands of the Belconnen goalkeeper.
A minute to go.
It was followed up by Wallace, but I think it was already over the line, and Grace Gill equalises with a minute to go.
Unbelievable. That is just, and that's what you need your big game players to do. Grace Gill just really stepped it up there, took it into her own hands, and had a good crack at goal, and they get the reward from it. That is amazing.
She caught hold of it so sweetly, and it moved in the air, and Manenica
well.
lost it in the movements, and it's over the line, and we are 40 seconds away from a penalty shootout. Here's Gill. And you can't say they haven't deserved an equaliser on the balance of their play today. They put everything into it. Wallace goes down, wins a free kick.
Efforts have been absolutely immense.
They couldn't steal it at the end here, could they?
Oh, I think we're going to penalties.
The echoes of that famous Champions League final with Manchester United and Bayern Munich from back in the 90s.
You would slip Manchester United in somehow.
Remember it well. Can they steal it at the end? Galich is going to drop this one in towards the penalty area. In fact, she comes down this near side for Thornton. It's out of play. We are into stoppage time at the end of extra time. It's a dramatic ending. We're going to get a penalty shootout.
I think we are. Belconnen will throw everything forward now.
Pike sends it forwards.
The ref's got to blow that whistle soon.
Thornton wins the header.
Oh.
It's out of play, and Belconnen have one last chance. Referee Angela Gray looks at her watch. Here's Whittle.
It's got to be nearly time there.
It's nearly full time. There's the whistle.
There it is.
Canberra FC celebrate like they've won the final. They've got themselves to the penalty shootout. I think this is what they played for.
Yeah, I think
Chantal
that it
Jones
is.
in goal now. Ash. Advantage Canberra FC.
I would say so. I think that that is a pretty amazing finish to 120 minutes of football, and it puts CFC in a really, really good position now. But let's not take anything away from Belconnen. They've got some really, really experienced and clinical players in the team, and really it comes down to now who can score more penalties.
You have to feel for Cara Mananica a little bit. That ball moved viciously, and she couldn't quite get enough behind it to keep it out of the net.
Absolutely. Grace Gill got a really, really, really good hold of that. As you can see, they're elated now coming over to the bench. But, you know, yeah, absolutely feel for Clara because she's done a really good job all game and cut the ball out where she needed to. That one was just hit too sweetly.
But she's got a chance to make herself a hero now in this shootout. And as we said, FC, we would think would probably be favourites because of the goalkeeping situation. But as you said, there's some quality in that Belco side that can take penalties.
Absolutely.
We're looking at people like, you know, who's still on the field, like Maddie Whittle can score goals from penalty shootout. Caitlin Munoz, Mickey Day, those kind of penalty. Catherine Brown, she can strike a ball.
That's,
you know, it's going to be a really, really exciting shootout. And
yeah. And it's a cruel way to finish a game. As a player, I know that it is a really, really cruel way to finish a game because you play for 120 minutes and then it comes down to a kick of a ball. But at the end of the day, that's the way that's why we play it. We play for these intense moments, and we're about to get some.
From a purely selfish, neutral point of view, this is the denouement we wanted, really, wasn't it?
Really?
A goal right at the end there. Two good goals as well. A cracker from Williams.
Exactly.
A good equaliser from Gill. We're going to have a penalty shootout, and this is going to take us to the edge and back again, I think.
This is huge. Look, and you can hear the crowd here getting around it, and that's what you want. It's really good for Canberra and really good for women's football, and it's nice to see that, you know, we're getting such a tight finish with two quality sides.
Huge amount of noise, as you can hear from the crowd.
Yeah.
The two captains in the middle, waiting for the toss to see who will go first.
Be interesting to see who Belconnen sends in, particularly with such experience across their side. So,
well, the first one is usually crucial.
yeah. And the last, isn't it?
Well, generally, because if someone scores or wins, the last penalty is generally the one that
All right. Thanks, Captain
seals the
Obvious.
game. Generally, the last penalty should.
Yeah, no.
It's been a long afternoon.
It's been a long afternoon.
But I know what you're meaning.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There is a thought. It depends how you go on these penalty shootouts, isn't there? There's always, you look at the penalty shootouts that have taken place in tournaments throughout the world, and famously Portugal with Ronaldo was going to take one last. It didn't get that far.
Get there. Yeah,
you know, do you send your best penalty takers up first, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that you do, because there's always that risk that you don't know what the goalkeeper's going to do in that scenario. You can have the best players on the field out there hitting those balls, but if a goalkeeper pulls off a miraculous save, it's not going to get to that final one. So, yeah, I think that it's probably worthwhile sending your penalty takers out first. And I know that Grace Field said that she probably wouldn't have taken one if she was in that position, but we would have made her. She's amazing at taking penalties.
I've seen her score a couple for Canberra United
Yeah.
from the penalty spot. She's very calm. She just walks up and strokes the ball in the corner. The goalkeepers are going away to the goal to our right. Cara Manenica looks like she's in goal for the first one for Belconnen United.
I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw Chantel step in and take a penalty. With the power of her shot, I think that CFC would be silly not to get her in there having a shot.
Well, we'll see what happens. Shake of the hands between the two goalkeepers off picture at the moment. And it looks like FC will be going first. A cracking finish
Even
to this
I'm
one.
nervous.
Shaking around in the box, and it's not just to do with the cold.
No, not just to do with the cold. It's exciting.
A lot of people heading down towards the back of the goal there and wanting to get behind the goal.
Yeah. I think security's clearing them out from there.
Yeah, I don't think they want them there behind the goal, which is a bit of a shame, but
no.
CFC first, and it is Grace Gill. Said she didn't want to take one, but she's up first up. Looking to lead by example. Turning people away from behind the goal. They just want to make this as fair as they possibly can.
Absolutely.
So Gill against Manenica. First up, Canberra FC. It's her goal that got us to this stage. At the end of extra time, here's Gill. Scores!
Hits that well.
Perfect penalty, perfect start.
Clara dove the right way, but credit to Grace Gill. She put that right in the corner. Goalkeeper can't touch that. That's amazing.
Catherine Brown coming forwards. Left-footed penalty taker. Never convinced about left-footed penalty takers myself, Ash.
Talk to Britty about that. She stepped up and took a couple for us this year and did really well. So
Brownie, we know, can thrash a ball. Will she go for power? Will she go for placement? It's Catherine Brown against Jones. Can she find a way through? It's Brown. It's saved by Jones. Pushed away across. She didn't even have to dive for it, really.
And it wasn't a bad hit from Brownie, to be honest. It's just that Chantel picked the right way.
Was a great stop. She continues her perfect day. Alice Churchill striding forwards to take the second for FC. We've talked her up all day.
Yeah.
The skipper.
She's pretty cool, calm and collected usually. I'd back her in here.
Grabs the ball off the referee and puts it on the spot. It's Alice Churchill. Manenica on the line. FC leads. Here's Churchill. Saved by Manenica. It lacked power, it lacked precision, and Manenica saves, and it's still 1-0.
That's a good save there. Unconvincing penalty, unfortunately, from Alice.
Michaela Day next up for Belconnen. It is the experience that's stepping forwards.
See if Chantel can get two in a row here.
Jones on the line. Already saved from Brown. Day puts it on the spot. Hush descends across Michaela. Here's Michaela Day. Can she score? She can't! She tried to be tricky and go down the middle, and she's passed it straight to Chantal Jones.
2 from 2.
And that's a big miss.
That's a huge miss.
I think this is McLaughlin.
Yep, big step up here for Hayley McLaughlin.
The midfielder, Hayley McLaughlin.
Had a great game today, actually.
This is the 5th penalty. We've only seen 1 goal so far. This would be a crucial moment to strike for Hayley McLaughlin. If she scores here, advantage is firmly with Canberra FC. McLaughlin against Menenica. Up she comes. Brilliant penalty.
That is
In
unreal.
Fantastic. The keeper is never saving that, is she?
That is an amazing penalty, to be honest. That takes some serious nerve to try to put the ball up there, and she did really, really well.
Well, if you need a goal to stay in the tournament and in the grand final, it's not too bad to ask this person to step up, is it?
This is your girl.
Needs to score, otherwise her team are in trouble. Munoz against Jones. They know each other well, and easily, as you like, Caitlin Munoz just rolls it in the corner.
And that's it. Even Chantal Jones there just clapped that penalty. She knows what a quality penalty that is. That's hard to stop.
Belconnen still with the advantage. It's Galich, the youngster.
Another good
forwards.
opportunity here for a young girl to step up and show her worth. She again had another outstanding game, so big moment.
Well, she puts this in. All the pressure is still on Belconnen, of course. Galich spots it down. Shouldn't have had many moments like this in her career, I wouldn't have thought just yet.
No.
We saw how good she was in normal time and how calm she was with the ball. Can she convert from the spot? She can! Beautifully done! Menenica dived the right way, but Galich finds a corner, and that is a confident penalty from a confident player. Maddie Whittle must score. I saw her have a penalty saved here in the Federation Cup final at the other end of the field.
Yeah, right.
Maddie Whittle.
She deserves to score after all of her efforts this game.
She's had a personal duel with Jones all afternoon. A couple of chances which Jones saved. Can Whittle keep Belconnen in it? Up she comes. It's saved by Jones! And Canberra FC win the grand final!
They've done it.
Chantal Jones, outstanding throughout the game, saves 3 penalties in the shootout. And FC are out on top. And Belconnen's reign as premiers in Canberra is over.
Unbelievable. That's how you want a game to finish, you know. It's that excitement. You can see how overjoyed CFC are for that win. Full credit to Belconnen. They're a champion side, and that's why they've been the best for so long. You know, it was an amazing game and good one to be a part of and good one to watch there. So,
what an incredible finale. Who would have thought in extra time that we would get an outstanding goal from Williams that would put Belconnen in front, and throughout the game they looked like they were going to win that after they found a way through.
Yeah.
But Grace Gill stepped up to send this to a shootout, and Chantal Jones, who, if we wasn't shooing for player of the match before, is surely now.
Has to be. I'd put good money on that, absolutely. It was, you know, you're right, it looked destined that Belconnen was going to walk away with that 1-0 win, but it's really good for women's football to see someone else step up and see CFC take this win. So, yeah, it's CFC's game plan played out probably exactly how they wanted it to, taking it all the way, and Chantal got to show why she's just so valuable in goals there.
We've talked throughout the day with Grace and yourself throughout this match about women's football in Canberra and about teams like Gungahlin United, Tuggeranong United, Canberra FC stepping up to the plate, putting the pressure on Belconnen, and that this run had to end somewhere, and it's ended tonight. And
that's exactly right. And I think it's good for the I guess the mental state of other teams, because you often come up against Belconnen and think maybe they are unbeatable, but seeing this happen tonight, you know, it's a good sign for other teams, and it's good for the competition. But like I said, you can't take anything away from Belconnen. They're an absolutely amazing side, and that's why they've been here for so long.
Well, Canberra have been building this for quite some time. They've been looking for a victory, and Marko Verkic, the president of Canberra FC, is on the field. Their men's team have had a disappointing time of it this year, and the women's section has stepped up and brought some silverware to the club, and it's quite an amazing story what they've done this season. Yeah,
and that's exactly it. You can see Wallace there picking up her daughter, and you can see how much it means to them. So that's pretty amazing. But again, you can see Belconnen there clapping off their fans, and credit to them.
Belconnen just out of our shot, acknowledging their support that have been behind them throughout this huge amount of victories that we were talking about in the build-up to the game, and we were mentioning beforehand, we were talking about then they were chasing their 19th major silverware in a row. They'd won silverware out of 21. They'd won 12 in a row before today. We asked how they could be beaten, and the answer was, have a goalkeeper like Chantal Jones.
Exactly. I think that that's exactly it. And also that CFC stuck it to them. They didn't back off. They didn't hold back. They just kept pushing, and that was proven in the last minute and a half of extra time. They still managed to get a goal. So, yeah, it was a combination of all, but well done to CFC.
Well, they never gave up, did they?
Never,
they kept
ever.
pressing and pressing, and we're going to stay with this for the for the presentation of the trophies. And Grace Field, you're still here with us in the commentary box. What was your take on that amazing conclusion to the match?
Yeah, I think you just have to put it down to CFC's fight. They absolutely killed it out there, and they just didn't give up, and that's what it came down to in the end. Gracie Gill's goal, and then Chantal stepping up in the pens. I think we all knew she would. She did her job, and it's just amazing. It's an awesome victory for them.
Whilst the penalties were pretty good, there wasn't really bad ones. I mean, you saw Mickey Day try and be a bit cheeky, but Chantal Jones has been around for too long to fall for that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw Munoz step up and just slot it in the corner, and Chantal walked off clapping. So, yeah, it just shows there's so much class out there on both teams.
Were you impressed with Canberra FC as a whole? Even their substitutions, the youngsters that came on, Thornton, Risteska, Mallinson, they all put a shift in and they all worked really hard for each other.
Exactly, and their work rate is exactly what got Canberra FC there in the end. I think those young girls stepping up and creating something different, and yeah, it was just awesome. It was just awesome fight from them.
Where to here from Belconnen United, though? They don't lose many games. I'm sure they'll come back fighting hard next season, looking to get their trophy back. Yeah,
exactly, and they're such a quality team, and this will just be even more motivation for them to step up, keep training, keep fighting, and they'll be back stronger than ever next year. I have absolutely no doubt.
Well, thanks for your help this afternoon, Grace. Enjoyed having you on in the second half.
Thanks.
Ash is still with us here as well. Ash, the referees getting their medals.
Yeah.
They did a good job this afternoon as well. We like to not talk about the referees if we can help it.
No, and I think they did a good job of that today. There was no controversial decisions that could be talked about or anything like that. I think they did a really good job, and it shows that the game is in good hands moving forward.
Yeah, Angela Gray's first grand final, and she certainly won't be her last. Yeah. And she was ably assisted today by Carlina Mullet, Lashan Pereira and Mitch Whedon. Chantal Jones has just been awarded the Julie Murray Medal for Player of the Match. Fairly inevitable conclusion after the penalty shootout, but she was pushed all the way by people like Alice Churchill that we mentioned throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That was well deserved there, but there are a few players out there that could have equally gotten that award, but I think Chantal today was head and shoulders.
It's not often that you get a player like Chantal Jones, so she's going to be a leading goal scorer with 19 goals, and now she steps up
and
then she's the goalkeeper that wins you the grand final. But you've got to give credit to everybody in front of her as well, and the way they defended in front of her as well.
Yeah. And I think that Chantal would recognise that. I think that Chantal would know that throughout the entire season she was afforded those opportunities to score good goals because of her teammates around her. And then today she was put in positions where, like Bridget Wright clearing the ball off the line, that was a goal-saving defensive move.
We're hearing from Lauren Keir here, who's the captain of Belconnen United. She's been unfortunately injured with I think she injured her back at some stage, and she's been struggling. She's hoping to be back next season as well. Then big miss for her. Yeah,
big miss. And you could see that although everyone in the Belconnen side did step up, they certainly missed Lauren's experience and composure out there. She's just a strong presence, and when you come up against her, it's certainly hard to overcome it.
I feel like Lauren's been playing football in Canberra for years.
She has.
She's still really young.
Yeah, her and Bridie are one and the same in that they both kind of of that same age bracket, but have been playing Premier League since they're about 14 years old or something like that. So it's credit to two players like that, like Lauren, like Maddie Whittle, like Bridie, that are just in and around it continually and sticking it to the older girls as well.
And she comes from an incredible family of athletes as well, Lauren Keir, doesn't she?
Hugely. They've got Ash, who is the tennis player, and Dan, who's into the rugby league, I think. Yeah, rugby league. So yeah, it's in the blood, that's for sure.
Sickeningly talented family.
That's it.
But they'll miss her, and she'll come back next season better than ever. Anthony Jagarinik and his team haven't been on this. This isn't usual for them, is it? They'll be a bit of an unusual one for them. But
no, that's exactly right. So, credit to what Lauren is saying there. They did fight to the very end, but they wouldn't have been in this position many times, and that's because they are just such a good side.
The worrying thing for football in Canberra as well is that when you lose a game, you come back hungrier than ever, and the team has just been so dominant in this competition. For them to be hurting, which they will, is going to be a problem for you guys and everybody else next season.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You look at the players that they had out this year. They had Lauren Keir out. They had Brownie out for the first part of the season. They've got Amy Spence out at the moment. They had Caitlin Munoz out for over half the season. They are all big name players that will just step back into the starting lineup and be a force to reckon with next year, especially with this loss creating a bit of fire in their belly.
We enjoyed watching Belconnen United. We're going to talk about them while they're there, and their front three in particular were very mobile, and they dominated a good parts of the game, created chances. Were denied by obviously by Jones, but you could see why they're so successful when you've got people like Callaghan, Whittle, Maguire creating opportunities for each other.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I think that Ant has done well in managing the players that he does have, and so he plays to his squad's strength. So using their strength and pace and their prowess up front, but then also making sure that they've got their wing backs wrapping up around, creating that kind of confusion in the opposition's mind as to who do you have to pick up, who do you have to follow, because they just have so much pace and athleticism moving forward.
Incredibly fit as well. You saw people like Bronte Pike and Ellie Raymond go for 120 minutes there, up and down those flanks, supporting those front three. And what Anthony's got them doing, which you never used to see in the women's game many years ago, which is coming now, is the movement. The movement's excellent.
It's amazing.
We talked about it in the under-20s and in the reserve grade competition about how women's football in Canberra has improved so much over the last few years with a lot of quality players, and we're seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think that's credit to Ant and the way that he makes his team work really hard in that sense. But yeah, it is a great credit to women's football these days.
So unlucky for Belconnen United. Now Alice Churchill is forward.
Yeah.
Talking about how much of a benchmark that Belconnen United are, and they would have come here hoping.
CFC, you mean?
Yeah, that they were hoping that they could get a result today. I mean, when you're playing against a side like this, the game plan needs to be spot on. And credit to Mark Rostesky and his group. I think they've all stepped up to the plate when they needed to.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think that Mark Rostesky, he came in with a game plan to beat Belconnen. It wasn't just to play another game. It was a game plan to nullify Belconnen's, I guess attacking prowess and that sort of thing, and that's by putting Chantel in goals and then having his defence just play a really tight game. So yeah, they did really well and they deserved that win.
Levana Galic gets a winner's medal around her neck, and the quality that she's got, and we've seen today, that won't be the last one she wins either. No,
definitely not. You saw it throughout the game, and then you saw her take the penalty just with cool, calm and collectedness. So that was very impressive by her.
The junior Matildas coach Ray Dower had hold of Galic, I think, at the Canberra United. She's possibly watching on TV, that she sometimes watches these streams for us, and she'll be very impressed with what she's seen with some of her younger players stepping up to the plate.
And rightfully so. She did really well today. So I was impressed, and I've been impressed with her all season. Every time I had to come up against her, I didn't want to. So it's credit to her.
Well, Ash Palumbi, thanks for your support and your commentary this afternoon.
Absolute pleasure.
Pleasure having you up here in the commentary box. The game itself was an absolute cracker. Chances at both ends. Jessie Williams thought she'd won it for Belconnen United with a beautiful goal 9 minutes into extra time. Only for Grace Gill to come up with an unlikely equaliser in the final minute of the match. It went to penalties where Chantal Jones saved from Catherine Brown, Michaela Day and Maddie Whittle to give Canberra FC their first ever grand final trophy. They lift the trophy up in front of their supporters. The PS4 NPL champions for 2018 are Canberra FC. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. Canberra FC, as I said, are the champions. They've won 3-1 in a penalty shootout after the game finished 1-1. I'm sure there'll be a party at Deakin Stadium tonight. Thanks for watching on Bar TV Sports. The final score, Belconnen United 1, Canberra FC 1. Canberra FC champions, 3-1s on penalties.